This is the D6 generation with your hosts, Craig Gallant.
If you're getting any compensation, it's not charity.
Russ Wakeland. Did you put me on a boat with frickin' dragons attacking me and whatnot? Now we're talking. And the GenCon mob in the third chair. Hey! With contributions from Total Fangirl.
Vampires do not sparkle.
And our loyal
Are
listener.
you crazy? That's like 400 hours of gamer nonsense.
Welcome to another edition of Rapid Fire, the roundtable discussion of all things gaming, coming out with the speed of the opposite of a large, not overly nimble man dragging a large piece of wheeled luggage behind him in a crowded Thursday vendor hall that feels like Saturday. Today's edition is brought Mungie Studios, who want to remind you that you have until September 20th to back Alchemist Academy on Kickstarter, proudly sponsored by Game Salute. I'm Geekly McNerdigan, your host. Today our panelists are Russ. Tonight I ate an enormous meatball grilled cheese sandwich with a pile of fries and a trough of soda. Woot! Wakeland.
What?
Total fangirl Nicole. I had the Monte Cristo and I'm a little too sophisticated to say woot. And special guest, you, the D6 generation, GenCon, super bigger than ever mega mob. Let's begin. Issue number 1. With the outrageous inflation of airfare this year, nearly the entire New Hampshire contingent, almost 20 people this year, decided they needed to drive. Excuses ranged from, it's going to be fun like a vacation, to, I've always wanted to see the mountains of Ohio. Never mind. Question. How much would a 5-man crew driving in a borrowed 2008 Dodge Grand Caravan from 19 Forest View Drive, Bedford, New Hampshire to the JW Marriott, I did it again, Indianapolis, Indiana, spend on gas per person if starting with an empty tank? Reform Energy Services, Russ.
$400.
Nico Resources, Nicole.
Slightly less than they need.
Marathon Oil Mob. I heard 120, 80, we'll go with 100. Okay, well, that all depends. If each person were paying equal shares, it would certainly be around $42. However, if one of the guys was paying in media celebrity status, and another was paying in Wendy's new Redhead Roasters coffee coupons, you know those nerd herder guys, well then the actual per person share rises to about $72.50, which is almost 80, but most of you, we average it to 100, which makes you all wrong! Woo. Issue number 2, easily the most anticipated item of the con for many of us, was the Firefly board game from Gale Force 9. What Browncoat has not eagerly anticipated the tsunami of licensing we were all sure would happen as soon as Master Joss was raised to his rightful place among the pantheon of the great. Question, what is the unlikely layman's term, considering the record of the company of the same name, for a Gale Force of 9? The Bark, North Carolina Nicole.
What?
Layman's term for Gale Force 9.
GF9.
That's a good answer.
You're so supportive.
I know.
The Yacht Ramona Russ.
Hurricane.
Blockade Runner Mary Celeste Mob. Cyclone, Gentle Breeze. We've got Cyclone, Gentle Breeze. Luckily, I don't have to average it all together because it's all wrong.
Oh, good better.
You would think it would be something along those lines, or a hurricane. In fact, the scale goes up to 12, which is Gale Force 12 doesn't really roll off the tongue. That is a full-born hurricane. 11 is considered a violent storm. 10 would be a storm, and 9 is a lowly, strong gale. Oh. Sorry. Issue number 3. Ever since folks started to open up on what popular culture refers to as social media, the rare and socially awkward phenomenon referred to as oversharing has become not only mainstream, but the accepted norm, with things like Facebook, Twitter, and of course now a raft of apps, including Russ's new favorite, WhatsApp.
Yeah.
You can share everything, and isn't that grand?
It is.
Question, on the 16-hour drive to GenCon,
Oh, God.
what was the most disturbing thing that Russ shared with the entire New Hampshire traveling contingent?
Oh.
There's a reason that we do this in reverse this time. Children of the Corn crowd. Gas, dinner. Okay, what's that? Okay. Road Rage Russ.
I refuse to answer on the grounds it may be embarrassing.
Fender Bender Fangirl.
That gigantic sandwich.
The sandwich, the food, it's interesting. Well, although the 3 meals that Russ ate between noon and 9 p.m. on Tuesday were disturbing, the truly horrific texts that we received the next morning were the worst. They were of a decidedly scatological nature, which we'll leave at that.
Can I tell you that worse than the text that you were receiving was
Would be
actually
living through it,
witnessing and
I'm
being
sure.
there for all of that. So
Issue number 4. A pub, formerly public house, a house open to the public as opposed to a private house, is a drinking establishment fundamental to the culture of Britain, Ireland, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, which seems to be a rather stingy list to me. In many places, especially in villages, a pub can be the focal point of the community. Question. During the grand opening of McNerdigan's Pub in October 2004, what national event was featured most prominently? Robert Burns Day Russ.
I don't know.
National Gorilla Suit Day Nicole.
St. Patrick's Day?
Ooh, good guess.
October 2004.
Oh, I thought you,
Sweet.
you did one at St. Patrick's
Oh,
Day.
it is swarm. I do, but I said October 2004.
Wasn't listening that
Sweetest
carefully.
Day Swarm. I did use Swarm. Halloween, Columbus Day, Thanksgiving. Do we have a calendar? In Canada?
That's fair.
Okay, let me check. U.S. Okay. It was a trick question, which it didn't need to be, apparently. Where are the sports fans in this house? Oh, right. Okay. That was game 1 of the 2004 World Series. A large flat-screen TV was installed in the pub, the only time that's ever been in the pub, just for the event during our first ever Halloween party where Ghouls, Goblins, Wonder Woman, and The Flash, who was that, watched the Red Sox beat the St. Louis Cardinals 11-9 on their way to sweep the series and shatter a curse nearly 100 years old. Yeah, not many people cared about it at the party either. That's it for now. Thanks for listening, and good night.
Woo. This episode of the D6 Generation is brought to you by Lone Wolf Development. Take your game to the next level.
And by Urban Lasercraft. Tokens, templates, terrain, and more for your tabletop games. UrbanLasercraft.com.
And by Conquistador Games, focusing on immersive and thematic games. More details at cqgames.com.
And the War Store, bringing the war to your door since 1999, and that is for a decade or more.
And by Winged Hussar Publishing, providing books for students of history and history students. WingedHussarPublishing.com. And by Game Salute, publishing awesome tabletop games through the Powered by Game Salute program, supporting independent publishers, stores, and the industry at GameSalute.com. Hello!
Hello.
Hey! And welcome to episode 132.
132.
Of the D6 Generation. I'm Russ Wakeland.
I'm Craig Gallant.
And I'm Nicole Wakeland.
And this is the GenCon Mob. Woo! This episode's recorded live in front of a studio audience. Pretty exciting. This is fantastic. So GenCon, what year is this, Craig?
This is
It was not a trick question.
2013.
Yes, good job. So on today's show,
Do I get an achievement for that?
No.
Applause would be good.
I know. Bloop. Today's show, we're going to talk about, a lot of things. First, we're going to talk about GenCon in Achievements in Gaming, right? We're also going to have our big Play-by-Mob event run by our friends, the Engelsteins. Woo! Very excited about that. And we had our contest just end.
We did have our
Gave away the
contest
prizes
that
last episode, so if you listen to that, you're all up to speed. If you're in the mob here, you have not heard it yet, so coming soon.
Welcome to the time warp of recording and distributing.
Exactly right, a little behind the curtain here. We have tons of stuff to give away here in the very Play-by-Mob adventure here, so we're going to be giving things away.
Is this a prize?
It is a prize. We got prizes from Stronghold Games, we got Game Salute, we got prizes from all kinds of folks out here, books from Black Library, various media outlets, even Logitech stuff on the floor, all kinds of great things people are going to be getting to take home with them today, so that's going to be very exciting. Craig,
yes.
Let's say you can't be at the mob.
Okay.
And let's say you can't make it to GenCon, and you can't, but you want to listen to more D6G.
So sad. Yes.
What would you do? Would you subscribe
Is
to
that a
Lost
trick
Chapters?
question? Oh, the Lost Chapters would be a great place to go. Yeah.
You guys knew where I was going, didn't you? Say the mob knew.
I'm like totally out of. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you'd go to our website, and you'd go to the right-hand margin, and you'd see the little cherub with the big stack of books, and it would say the Lost Chapters, and you would click on it, and it would bring you directly to the entire library of Lost Chapters, which is over 60 individual files now.
It is. Now, who subscribes to Lost Chapters in this room? Anybody? 1, 2, 3, 5. Cool. Thank you, people, for supporting
And
the show.
that right there is an illustration of the success, of the genius of our marketing plan.
Brilliant.
4 hours free every other week. You want
Right.
45 minutes, you pay.
That's right. It is brilliant. And if you don't want to download each episode, just subscribe. It's like Netflix. You listen to all you want.
That's right. And then your wife forgets to cancel, so you're like, woo!
Yes, that's how that works. All right, so now it's time for, what's time for, Craig?
Now it's time for, without an echo.
Oh, he's got it.
I got an echo.
He's got it.
Achievements in gaming.
Bloop. Nice.
With an echo.
Nice, very good.
With my new headphones, I don't even hear that.
I know, right? And Achievements is brought to us today by... Looking for a great new con? How about a great place to get your gaming in for Extra Life? Then check out the first annual Maine Game Con, November 1st through 3rd in Augusta, Maine. Catch Team Cranky there at maingamecon.com. All right. And now it's time to talk about what games we've been playing or working on. Let's start with Nicole. She's never on the show. Nicole, what have you been playing?
I played some Firefly board game with you guys
What'd you think?
yesterday. I thought it was very cool. It was very fun. You get to misbehave, and if you try to misbehave, you're totally going to lose. Like, you can't win. It was awesome, though. It was fun.
That's cool.
There's little Serenity tokens, and the die has a little picture of Serenity. Firefly guy in the hat. You'll like the game. So that was what I was playing. What I've been working on is the Firefly role-playing game, which I am writing one of the adventures for.
Cool.
So that'll be coming out. Mm-hmm. So that has really been my big game activity over the summer.
Kept her busy all summer.
Pretty much. Yep.
Right. How about, let's see, Craig, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of Firefly. For those of you how many of you have picked it up so far? Yes?
So you're
Okay.
like- it's an audio medium, people. We got to shout.
Yeah.
Have you picked it up?
Yay!
All right, great.
Yeah, 3. Okay. Everything about the game is awesome. I would highly recommend you either tone down the mission that you play or start with a mission that asks you to just raise $1,200 and then go from there, because the mission they do recommend you to start with in the book takes forever. It took us 4 hours last night, and by that time, you just feel like you've been pummeled.
Well, we did have a fifth player, we should say.
A fifth, yeah. As exciting as that is in the magazine, and you get the 5 players and everything, I would not do it with 5 players to start with, and I would do the 1,200 credit mission, just because that streamlines. The game itself is awesome. The way it interfaces with the missions can be very dragging, I think, just from 2 plays. But so that's what I played. I've been playing a lot of Martian Dice because our friend Dave from the Nerd Herders discovered it for the first time, so he's all excited. So whenever we go and eat, that's what we've been playing. I played Dread Curse last night for the new one from Smirk and Dagger.
Yep.
I think I was too tired.
Who's got Dread Curse in the crowd? Anybody bought Dread Curse yet? Clap or shout.
That's not true. The Sherpa has it, and he's not doing anything.
Looking like 3 or 4 or 5 folks.
He's back there going,
I don't know. Well, that's... Someone had the grilled cheese. So I did that?
that was nice.
It's called a callback.
It's very, very good. Yeah, anyway, so that's basically what I've been playing so far. Russ, what have you been playing?
Well, let's see. The diplomacy game continues, Mr. Bonacore.
This could get awkward.
As we call the dirty, rotten traitor. See, I'm doing it to his face. It will be his face, but there's a pole in the way. But if there wasn't a pole in the way.
Obstructed viewing.
There he is. He betrayed me horribly. I'm not going to lie. It was awful. But no, we're still doing diplomacy. It's fun. I'm still alive for the moment, but it won't be long. I think I'll be the next guy out, but it's good times. Playing a lot of War Machine. Who went to the Privateer Press booth at GenCon? Audio medium. I've seen a lot of hands, at least half the crowd, I'd say, maybe more. So I got there. I was in line. Got my Steel Soul Keg Guardians. Got to get those for my Crisis of Convergence there. Is that right?
No.
No. Convergence of Chris? Convergence of... Okay.
Convergence, Cirrus,
Thank you.
or Cyrus.
Thank you. Kraz got it better than
Crisis doesn't
Wow, you
actually show up in the
mispronounced.
name.
That's shocking.
I do. I know, right? Thank you. Got those guys. I got the Butcher model for Rafe, because he wanted me to, the new Butcher guy there. And, of course, I got the High Command, both Hordes and War Machine.
Flavors,
Had to get
yes.
those. And I did break down to get level 7 because I didn't like last year's level 7. It had no plastic in it, but this year's level 7 is plastic. And it's like Descent style where you got an Overlord fighting Space Marine dudes. So that sounds fun.
Wow.
Anybody get level 7, the new one? Crickets. 1, 2. Looking like 2. Okay, well, let me know how that is. I got it, 2. I'm going to try it tonight, hopefully. So let me ask the mob out now. So what have you guys found so far at GenCon? What's been the hot game for you guys? Raise your hands and person in the hat. High Command.
High Command.
High
Pick
Command,
a
you like it?
prize.
Come up and get a prize. What do you like? But to get a prize.
Yeah, you gotta give us a little more meat.
What do you like about High Command?
I like how you can intermix
Yep. Nice. Now, do you need to? Can you play 8 players with both boxes then at the same time? Cool. Nice. Well, come on down to get a prize. That's a great idea. So, High Command's one of the hotnesses.
World of Darkness Demon, the new Demon game.
Ooh.
Was yesterday. Was World of Darkness Demon.
Our friend John Richard is trying to help us out with sound, and he's working. Okay, go ahead. Start again. Sorry. It's all right.
World of Darkness Demon, the Descent playtest was yesterday, and it was very good. We had a great card of characters that just made the whole game interesting.
What'd you like about it?
Demons can, surprise, surprise, demons can lie.
Oh, awesome.
And nobody, even magic, vampires, everything, nobody can tell. So they're really great spies and infiltrators. It's really interesting.
Sweet. Cool. All right. Come on up and get a prize. Who's next? Craig, you pick people.
Jane's hat.
Oh, see, there you go. The Firefly references always get a pick.
Who's got the CPAC machine going?
I don't know.
A group of friends and me, and last night we gathered together and we had a rather long game of Cards Against Humanity.
Oh.
And how did that go?
We were laughing ourselves stupid at some of the most disgusting combinations of words that have ever been put together in human history.
Excellent.
Come on down and get a prize. Oh, just a reminder, this is the board game part of Achievements in Gaming, so save the miniature stuff for the next phase. All right, who's got another one? Take 3 more, I think. Go ahead, Craig.
GenCon hat.
I played God Dice yesterday. It's a fairly good game. The mechanics are fairly easy to learn. It doesn't take that long to play. It's a good, quick game if you're just looking for some interesting fun.
What's the theme?
It's basically you're a bunch of heroes, and you have to try and fight other heroes to win the favor of the gods.
Oh, cool.
And if you do, then you fight better, and you get to re-roll and control basically how it plays.
That sounds fun. Now, is it a card game or a board game? Or what
It's a dice game, basically.
Oh,
It's
nice.
got little tokens and stuff, yeah.
No, that sounds fun. Thanks. Come on down and get a prize.
Go.
I got to play Space Cadets Dice Duel.
Oh, that's a good game. Mr. Engelstein, take a bow.
Yeah.
Woo. And Steven, how many copies are left?
0.
It's sold out, which is great for the Engelsteins and the Stronghold games, but not so good for everybody else. But so what'd you like about Dice Duel?
Oh man, it was crazy fun, and we kind of creamed the opposition. They moved like 3 squares and accidentally shot us, and we just ruined them.
Now, for those who don't know, can you give a quick 30-second elevator pitch? What is Dice Duel?
If you've played Space Cadets, it's that, but better. And if you haven't, it's...
Wow. With one hand,
Nice.
they raise you up, Jeff.
Other than that, it's like Escape Curse of the Temple. I think that's the full title of that.
Yeah.
And it's a real-time dice chucking. You're trying to get... the engineers trying to get numbers to pass to stations so that they can move or shoot or shield. And it all works together really well in Robo Rally and all the rest.
Great.
Cool.
Come and get a prize. How about this young lad right here?
That's where I was headed next. I get to pick him.
All right,
That
you
guy
pick
right
him.
there.
You pick the young lad.
I like the game 1775.
Ooh, what's that like?
It's a American Revolution game, and
very
you get to play either as the British or the American.
Guess where he's from. Nice. So is it a 2-player game?
I think
Yeah,
it's
nice.
2 to.
Up to 4?
Up to 4.
Nice. Nice. And what did you like about it the most? The history part or the how it worked?
I like how it works and like how you battle, and it's fun for me.
Very cool.
Is it balanced, or do the bad guys have a chance?
Look at the English guy over there. He's like, I'm going to come kill you.
You want to do one more?
Yeah.
Or...
One more person to come on down and get a prize? One more.
Okay. In the taxi driver hat. People are like, damn, I forgot my hat at home.
I got to play Lost Legends, which is the better version of Seven Wonders.
Oh, those are strong words. Strong. Now,
Thank you, Kurt.
What makes it better than Seven Wonders, which is well
everything
loved?
that you
apparently?
don't like about Seven Wonders is not included in this one. It's just got a very good theme for anyone who sits down and actually likes the dungeon crawling and actually creating a character. It's a lot of fun.
Nice. Cool.
Yes.
Very nice.
Nice. Very
Come
good.
on up.
So that's achievements in our gaming achievements.
Russ
But what
has
about?
apparently, without telling anybody, separated this out into types of games.
Well, we do our normal achievements, then we do miniature game modeling. I put the miniatures and modeling. So we cover
okay.
the miniature hotness here at GenCon. See how I did
That's
that?
Like, it's
you
very...
got to adapt.
Shifting sands,
Right,
people.
right.
Shifting
But before we
sands.
do that, Craig, where do we like to play our games?
Well, we love to play our games at Myriad Games in Manchester.
Yes.
So many games, so little time.
Quick, mobs. In the mob out there, what's your favorite local gaming store? Anybody got-
Games Plus, Dragon's Den.
Nice.
What? The Secret Door. Adventurers Guild. Over
Nice.
there, I can't hear.
Craft and Hobby Connection.
Crout and Hobby Connection.
Craft.
Okay.
Nice.
Out of the box.
So,
What?
Wizards
Wait.
of-
I want to know the one from England. In Sweden.
Sweden. Nice.
And what's it called? Pristenfienden.
You are totally murdering that. All right.
It means chair? How do you know that? You don't know that.
Fair game in Illinois?
Illinois.
Nice. Very good. Well, Myriad Games loves to hear you support your local gaming store. They always support the
Absolutely.
store based on those guys. That's fantastic. Now, modeling. Normally we talk about what we've been building, which we still will, but since the people, you guys probably aren't modeling today at GenCon, but we talk about what kind of modeling stuff you're excited about. So, Craig, what kind of modeling have you been doing?
War Machine.
Yes! Now the crowd's going wild. Craig's playing War Machine. And which faction?
Retribution.
Angry Elves. That's right.
I don't know. I think it was the surly nature of the 40K players locally who were like, Craig, why aren't you running an event? Because you guys never show up. Wait a minute. Russ and Rafe play this other game all the time.
We do.
So I learned the hard way, once again, that if I'm playing the people that I enjoy playing games, see, I'm not as social as Russ. Russ loves playing anything with anyone.
It's true.
I'm a much more shy person. Thus, those of you who are towards the front can tell that my leg has been going nonstop underneath the table the whole time.
He's in theater, though. It's pretty amazing.
It's an interesting psychological dichotomy.
It is.
And nice, huh?
Dichotomy.
Nice
Big word.
words,
Say
yes.
two
Ba-dum,
words.
boom. And yeah, so I looked at the factions again, and I looked at the elves. And the last time I played, I looked at the elves, and I was like, they all look really good, except for the strange phallic fixation of the heavy infantry and their warjacks, which is bizarre, and no one, being honest with themselves, can deny the truth of that statement.
They have very large cod pieces.
Russ had never noticed it before. He was like, I don't know
once
what
you
you're
pointed
talking
it
about.
out,
And
yeah.
now you can't see it. So I just reconciled with the fact that I'm going to have to take clippers to all of my... And I did. And that's why this fits right in with modeling, because the day before I left for Gen Con, I sat down with all of the heavy infantry that I'd put together, and I clipped...
You gelded your elves.
I don't think they're gelded. I think they look fine. Never mind. Family show. So the models are awesome. I've always said the game system is great, and I've been enjoying my games, and I'm not just saying that because I beat Russ. And so...
He did.
There you go. Blink, blink. There we go.
They won't perform so well now, though.
Oh, no, they were performing great. Trust me. They've got more incentive. Don't take any more off. Okay.
Nice.
So that's me. That's what I've been doing.
Awesome.
miniatures-wise.
Nicole, did you see any cool models this weekend or so far?
I actually haven't had a chance to look around that much, but I honestly, the models in that Firefly game I thought were cute. I know they're not really models, but that was...
They do beg to be painted. A little dry brush
do
painting.
beg-
because they were
Yes.
like bright orange and bright green, and I'm like, they need some dry brush.
And a little known fact, too, if you look at the Firefly game, the Alliance Cruiser looks a little bit cooler and better quality, and it's actually made out of resin, whereas the rest of the Firefly class ships are all out of more board gamey kind of that rubber stuff. And we were told there's a story that they had a production issue. They didn't get... is the real game going to come in just a cardboard token for the Alliance ship?
No. The real game comes with a plastic cruiser.
Yep.
The problem was something happened in production, and the games shipped without that cruiser. So a friend of theirs who was good at resin casting cast 1,000 cruisers, and they're beautiful models.
And it was a brilliant marketing decision. They put a sticker on the box, GenCon exclusive.
GenCon exclusive.
So the only way to get the resin.
And that's why there's only 1,000 copies of that game, because they only had 1,000 of those cruisers. And I found it interesting because fans of the show know that you never ever see the cruiser other than from a very low angle looking up. So you only ever see the front edge with the top two towers. I didn't know there were 5 towers or big giant engines behind it. So
That's
it was really
kinda
cool because you look at the whole thing.
Any other cool models, Nicole?
No, that was the one thing.
All right, so Mob, your turn. So what kind of miniature gaming stuff have you been excited about at GenCon?
Purple shirt number 1.
When I was over at the Privateer Press booth, I did get to see the one of their artists working on the new Dwarf Colossal.
Yes.
The Earthbreaker. And it looks very amazing.
Looks
I'm pretty
fantastic.
excited about that.
I tweeted a picture of that. It looked awesome.
There's going to be a Colossal for the dwarves?
Rulik, yeah.
Yeah, the Rulik mercenaries get their own Colossal.
So the one thing they didn't have that caused me to go elves instead of dwarves.
You can play elves and dwarves, Craig. It'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah. In a world in harmony, holding hands.
They do like each other.
Okay, anyway.
Could always be like me with total army ADD and have almost everything.
That's right.
So.
I've done that before.
Just
It
like
just
40K.
doesn't pay off. Yeah. Thank you. Come on
down and
up.
get a prize.
Yes, you. Not you. Only now I feel bad, so
You're
you'll go
next.
next.
You're next.
Yeah, I had a chance to look at Free Blades by DGS Games. It's a fantasy skirmish.
Oh, cool.
And they just finished a Kickstarter for their 6th faction.
What's the scale?
32 millimeter.
Oh, nice.
So
Very cool.
Some very cool models. They got their latest faction, the Falcar, out, and they look fantastic.
And what are they?
The sort of pirate soldiers. They got a pikeman.
Pirates are good.
Pirate soldiers.
And a sailor that's got a grappling hook that extends like 2 inches out from the
Oh,
bottom.
cool.
Nice.
Nice.
That sounds awesome.
Come on up and take
Get
a prize.
Gentleman up here.
The Robotech Kickstarter minis.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't got over there yet. I kickstarted that, but I haven't actually seen this stuff in
I have a
person.
friend that kickstarted, so he made me go over and check it out, and they looked really
Nice. I can't wait.
They do look
play
great.
test that today.
Yeah, sweet.
Cool. Come on up. Yeah.
Which one?
Right here.
You're right in the middle there.
Actually, my husband is starting to get me into Kador, and he built all my models for me, and then allowed me to go out and buy paints so that I can paint a My Little Pony army to kick his.
Nice. Woo. My daughter.
You
make
got to
sure
send pictures to us.
Send
of
us
that My
pictures.
Little
My
Pony
daughter's a
army.
huge My Little
Okay.
Pony fan. She'll love that.
Part of that deal was I got a Storm Strider. So
Score. Well played, sir. Well played. We'll have to pair you come up pick something out nice. See, how about, go ahead,
Mountain
Craig.
Dew.
Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Shout out to the Dew.
Malifaux 2nd Edition.
Ooh, there you
out.
go.
All the new boxes are out, so I picked up the Cult of December and the Con exclusive Tara box, and
nice,
really amazing sculpts on those.
Yeah,
They look fantastic.
I dropped way more money than I
Craig
should
did
have
some shopping at the
yesterday.
weird booth.
Yes, I did.
So, did you get the 2nd edition book? You said.
Yeah, got the 2nd edition.
Now,
book.
have you tried the beta at all? This is your first exposure.
I haven't tried it yet.
How do you like the new book? Have you flipped through it yet? What do you think?
It looks great. I mean, I'm one of the players that thought the first edition was a little too complicated.
Oh, good.
So,
Me too.
hoping this simpler.
Have you played any demos yet, or are you just jumping in and checking it out?
Just jumping
later?
in right now.
Awesome.
So.
I like that attitude. That's how I roll.
Cool.
All right. Come on down.
Behind
Pick
the
a prize
purple
up.
shirt, because I felt bad that you thought you called too. John?
The Order of the
Johnny on the
Stick
spot.
miniatures are just really.
Order the Stick. I've heard they're good. I haven't seen them yet either.
Oh,
I got the con exclusive. It's Xylon on his Lich Dragon.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So it's very cool.
Very
Nice.
cool. I didn't even know they made those.
Let's do like 3 more.
Okay.
What else we got?
All I can see is the hand under the spot. There you go. Yes. You. Yes.
purple shirt in the middle.
Oh, a breakaway purple shirt.
Yeah, right.
Yes. I was going to say Malifaux 2.0 as well. But Mac at the Trade Day seminar actually gave some juicy hints about a new game with maybe some colossal-sized models, something separate altogether. So that would be my most excited.
Oh, nice. That's a good idea.
Nice.
How about this gentleman right here with the sunglasses on his head?
That's you.
That's you.
Now everybody's nervous. They don't want to be.
Wait a minute.
I've been playing a whole lot of BattleTech.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah?
Have you played Alpha Strike?
I haven't yet, but I'm really excited to play it.
Oh, I
And
got to
I've
get the
heard
Catalyst. I haven't got over there yet.
Lots of really good things about it.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, so it's been really exciting, and the games have been fantastic. It's been a
Great.
blast.
Awesome.
And the only way to play BattleTech, everyone, is on a hero skateboard. That's just how you do it, just in case you want. You should just call it a BattleTech board. I don't know why they great. Well, thanks. Come on down and get a prize. I got one more. Craig, pick someone.
No, you pick someone.
Oh, good.
I can't handle
How
the
about
stress.
this gentleman here in the white and red shirt thing going there?
You could call that
plaid. Thank you, plaid. Plaid. Is that plaid, John?
No,
What is
that
it?
is- that
John,
is-
what would you call that shirt?
That is an orange striped shirt.
Stripe. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to be a little bit different, I took advantage of something that I could only get at GenCon, and I took a sculpting class from
Oh, nice.
And I learned exactly how hard it is to make those guys look nice.
Wow. So was it a? What did they show you? Did they actually show you some green stuff right in the front of there?
Yeah. So they gave us all tools.
Yeah.
Some putty, not green stuff, but a similar. It's a gray
Okay.
mix, and armatures, and taught us how to construct an armature.
Oh, cool.
And gave us that to get started on, and then gave us a full-formed miniature that was kind of a blank. to sculpt on top of and try to make more detail and learn some of the techniques about how to make things.
Wow, that sounds really cool. I want to do that now.
Was it fun?
It was fun. It was informative, but you really need to spend a lot of time on it.
Yeah. And that's why those guys get paid that much money.
Exactly.
Nice. Well, great. We'll come on down and pick a prize. And before we move on to other, I'm talking my modeling. I finished my Clockwork Angels Maidens of the Gear. I have
Maidens
them.
of the Cheese? What?
Yes, exactly. They're doing very well for me. I'm not
They
gonna
are
lie.
doing very well.
And I talked about picking up the Steel Soul Guardians there. So they're great. I'm really happy with them. And I'll be getting the Malifaux book also today. Is it sold out? I heard I might have missed it.
There's been wild rumors about it being sold out since noon yesterday, and they had plenty yesterday.
Nice. So now it's time to talk about other. That would be Total Fangirl's favorite section, which of course is movies, TVs, and any other cool hotness, geeky hotness we've been doing. So Nicole, what do you got for? What have you seen lately?
I love that you told me I didn't have to have this stuff ready.
No, you can off your cuff. You write a blog about
What
it.
have I seen lately? Actually, we went to see Pacific Rim, which was one of my favorite movies of the summer.
Yeah.
I loved
No
it.
doubt.
Yeah, I love that. And what was even happier for me was that our youngest loved it. She wanted to go see it, and she's like, "Awesome! Giant robots and Godzilla!" And she thought it was really cool.
She did.
So that was actually, I think that was my favorite movie. Although, what could be my favorite movie of the summer, I haven't seen yet. I'm betting some of you have, and it's so cheesy. It demands that everybody view it. Sharknado. Has anyone seen this? I feel like not having seen this movie, I'm missing out on zillions of pop culture references because I have not seen it. So that's on my list. I have on a quest to find Sharknado.
Hollywood trivia. Do you know how much the 90210 star that's in that movie made?
Was that Ian Ziering?
No,
Ian
the
Ziering? No.
woman, right? Tara,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She made $50,000 for that. Lo, how the mighty have fallen.
Right.
I mean, not that I would sneeze at $50,000, but I'm sure she's not used to that kind of payday.
Nice.
Oh, was it? If not more.
So, of course, I've been listening to some books too. I just finished the second Hunger Games book. I'd read the first one a while ago, or listened to the first one a while ago. And my daughter got into them now, so she wanted me to read the second one to catch up before we see the movie. So I had to go listen to that. I really enjoyed the second one. I thought it was going to be all love story, but it was actually pretty cool. So I enjoyed that and listened to all my books on Audible. Craig, of course, you do too.
Audible is a great place to go. And if you guys want to get a free book on Audible, all you would have to do is go to our website and find on the same margin where you'll find the Lost Chapter tab.
Yes.
You click on the Audible logo and you can go there for 30 days. And it sounds like a sales pitch, and it is, but it's also very true. Okay, free audiobook, which generally is going to cost you $20 to $30, and all kinds of awesome deals for 30 days. And I spend more money on the deals than I do on just that credit. So,
Right. So I want to ask the mob real quick though. What books have you read lately, gentlemen? You got his hand
he's
up
all
quick with it.
excited.
Backwards hat.
Star Wars Shakespeare.
Oh, we just talked about that. Nicole's got a copy
Oh,
of the
I
book.
have that, yes, and I haven't taken a look at it. So
Yeah, what'd you think of it?
It's pretty good, and I forgot to bring it.
Nice. I think I read a segment of that on the show
Yes,
an episode or two
it was
ago.
with,
Well, how did I do on that?
pretty
Be
good.
honest. All right, just 3 applause, so I should not be a thespian.
I didn't say anything.
All right, fair enough. All right, good. Way off Broadway in that back street near.
You don't get much more off Broadway than his
Come on down,
basement
get a
in
prize.
Nashua, New Hampshire.
Who else has got a book recommendation? Gentleman over here in the red shirt. I'm making John run across the room now.
In preparation for November, Ender's Game.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, who likes Ender's Game? Nice. Who's going to see it on day one? Pretty good crowd there. All right, cool. What'd you like about Ender's Game?
What is there not to like?
Yeah, it's
right.
just
Oh,
it's
fair
classic.
enough.
It wasn't the first time I've read it.
Oh, okay,
but
good.
I have the audiobook thanks to you guys.
Oh, nice.
The whole Audible thing is addictive.
Isn't it? It's
I have to
crazy.
cancel just because I haven't read half the.
It's okay. You can re-up later. Just get your credits.
Yeah.
Do a few in your library. Come back later. It's fine.
And to expand on that just a little bit, have you listened to Ender's Shadow?
No, not yet. That's
Okay.
next.
The end of Ender's Game, the 20th anniversary, talks about the movie and tells you that you should doesn't tell you that you should read it, but explains that the movie is actually a combination of Ender's Game and Ender's Shadow, so that they could have two characters that would play off each other, Ender and Bean, which is an awesome idea, and I'm very excited. I just actually finished that yesterday.
All right. One more book recommendation. Anyone else? Gentlemen, go ahead, Craig. You got someone.
I'm trying to make sure that we don't no one hiding behind the pillar with their orange shirt. Gentleman in the orange shirt.
Raise your hand, orange shirt.
Here comes our mic man, John Richard.
I've been reading the Legend of Drizzt series recently.
Good choice. Yeah.
I believe I'm reading, what is it, Sea of Swords. Wolfgar is still dealing with his torture by Air 2. It's pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah, spoiler alert. But come on down to get a prize. The big new D&D thing when Nicole and I are at the big Dungeons & Dragons event, they were talking about, was it Shattered?
The Sundering.
Sundering, thanks. There are a lot of stuff in there about Drizzt and everything else coming out. So that's, if you're a Drizzt fan, you got a lot
And
to
their
look
big
forward
thing
to.
was that Lords of Waterdeep coming out on iOS.
Lords of Waterdeep coming to iOS by Playroom, the guys that did, the Play Deck. So thank you, Summoner Wars. Thank you.
People were yelling it out.
Yeah, thanks. All right, cool. Let's see. Anything else? What about movies? Oh, here's what I wanted to ask the mob about movies real quick. So I want to kind of gauge what the best summer movie was. It's August now, right? We've seen the line. So by cheer and applause.
You have a list?
I do.
Oh, good.
First, and remember, the volume here is going to determine the winner. So
And you can only cheer for one.
You can only cheer for one.
So read the list first.
So listen careful. I'm going to go down the list. What your choices are? The nominees are.
Don't cheer yet.
Star Trek. No, don't cheer yet. Although I admire your excitement.
Follow the directions.
She's got the shirt. She's biased.
Oh, okay.
All right. Iron Man 3. Don't cheer yet. Superman. Pacific Rim. Sorry, that was visual. Wolverine. And of course, Sharknado.
Nicole made you put that in.
She may have.
I didn't make him. He's
Is there any nominees? Last chance for nominees. Is there any movie I did not name that should be on that list? Gentlemen, there. Fast and Furious. I will add it. But given this crowd, 6. Anybody else want to nominate a film?
If you could see how he spelled furious. Oh.
I'm sorry. Monsters U. Young lady back there. Don't ask how I'm spelling Despicable.
Red 2.
Red 2. Red 2. Is Red 2 even out yet?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How did I miss that?
It came out, did not do so well, and is gone.
Oh, I liked Red, the first one. A couple more nominees back there.
I didn't see it.
Oh, woo!
Seriously, who took my cell phone?
Last nominee back there in the corner. Gamers 3.
Gamers 3.
Gamers 3, okay. All right, here we go.
Despicable Me, JLK2.
I got a typo. I'm trying to do this quick. All right, here we go. All right.
Welcome to my world.
Up first, Star Trek. Wow. All right, that was pretty strong. That's strong. Iron Man 3.
Oh.
Wow.
Ouch.
Tony Stark just got
Tony
sent.
Stark just got some pity claps.
He's stuck at the bottom of the ocean after that one. Superman. Crickets.
Wow, dead
I agree with that, Superman. Pacific Rim. All right. I'm biased on that one. I'm not going to lie. Wolverine. Wow. Crickets on Wolverine. Ouch.
I liked it.
Sharknado. Okay. We would like to note that Sharknado beat both Iron Man 3 and Wolverine.
And Superman.
Fast and Furious 6. Also beating Iron Man and Wolverine. Monsters U. All right. I will say this. Monsters U is funny, but only if you've been to college. So if you take your 11-year-old and your 9-year-old, they're like, what? This doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it. But it was a fun film. I like it. Despicable Me 2.
Whoa.
Also, beat Sharknado. Very well done. Red 2. Standing by. All right. This is the end. Yeah. All right.
Can only vote for one.
Gamers 3.
Oh.
Not even the nominee cheered.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean,
that's
it did just
cold.
premiere yesterday.
That's cold. So what do you think? John, as the official sound man, did Star Trek or Pacific Rim win?
I think it was Pacific Rim.
I may have used the mic to rig that one.
Yeah, I
though.
was going to say that wasn't really fair.
All right. Clearly my favorite film of the summer. Craig, we didn't get yours. Last chance. Any other stuff you've been doing?
Now?
Yeah, right now. You got 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
I actually, based on an interview you guys haven't heard yet, David Weber tuned us into Continuum on Sci-Fi, and I started to watch that, and I'm really enjoying it. I'll give that a clap.
Yeah. We really enjoyed having David Weber on last episode. That was
As
fantastic.
the full third chair. Was
Yes,
awesome.
that was awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool stuff coming up in the next episode.
So it's new for this room, but of course everybody else will
Yeah, everybody else who's listening.
It's
to
going up this week.
Like, we know something
know
that you
that.
don't know. They've got to have something over you guys. You're here with us.
Right.
Reveling in our glory. Well, anyway.
Easy.
Yeah. And I did just go and see Wolverine, and I liked it.
It was good.
Yeah. I mean, it was no Pacific Rim.
Well, the best part of the movie is the middle. The train scene so blew away the finale, I thought, that...
Yeah, and I mean, and who didn't know what was going on at the end? Seriously,
Yeah,
no
really.
spoilers, but was there any surprise at what was going on?
Yeah. All right.
I was gonna pretend somebody said yes, but
no.
So that was me. I haven't been watching a lot of stuff. The Wolverine I actually snuck out on, so I snuck out to see that. So.
I thought you snuck out in the middle of the movie.
No.
I was going to say, no wonder.
I went to pay for Turbo, and then snuck in.
Oh, by the way, went to the Indianapolis Speedway.
Which was really
John
cool.
Richard took us there, which I don't know if you know this, that's where they filmed Turbo. It was cool to see the actual location.
I heard they used local talent through the whole.
Right, that's what I heard. It was
Local
fun.
snails.
Actually, it was cool. When you went there, they have all kinds of Turbo memorabilia there now, which is kind of fun. Anyway, sorry, side thing.
As if they actually had recorded it.
It was like it was live
Right,
there.
okay.
All right,
I'm
cool.
all set.
All right, great. Well, that is achievements.
You're listening to the D6 generation. Born to game.
Oh, you know what that sound means? It's time to talk about our friends from Lone Wolf Development. And, you know, we're very excited about, first of all, Realmworks, boom, one of the stars of GenCon. People were coming all over from across the entire convention hall to check out Realmworks. They got full working version there this year. Looked great, looked fantastic. It is the way to manage your campaign. If you did not back the Kickstarter, that's okay. You can still get on the action. They're previewing it now to their early Kickstarting backers, and coming soon it'll be fully released. So head on over to wolflayer.com to check that out. But Craig, they've got great other software besides just Realmworks for GMs. Like what?
Well, it's really crazy when you think about all of the talent and all of the tools in one company, because if you're a role player, they're taking care of you completely with Realmworks from one end and Hero Lab from the other.
Right.
But if you're a miniature war gamer, I don't know why you wouldn't already have Army Builder, because it takes army creation from an onerous job that you just have to constantly worry about all the different math and all of the different allowances, and it takes all of the the rules out of your way and just lays it out for you, so it's cool. Yeah, I want to add one of these. Oh, I can do that. I want to add one of those. Oh, that puts me over the limit. Craziness. And it does the same thing. Card Vault does the same thing for you with collectible games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really is all about taking the tools and making them more fun so that you have fun with your game and you're fighting the game, not the tools.
And don't miss out on the new mobile options they have.
You're fighting the monsters, not the tools. I just totally ruined one of their taglines.
It's okay, because you know what? The other thing too is if you're trying to play remotely, or let's say you're at the table and you wish you could just put something in your iPad. Well, now you can with Hero Lab. You can download the Hero Lab for iPad right now. Puts Pathfinder character sheet, interactive Pathfinder character sheet right on your iPad. They've got it now so you can export your Army Builder armies right to viewable on the iPad. They're kicking it up a notch, bringing it to mobile, and basically if you need it, they've got it. Check out wolflayer.com. And now, what's in the news? With the shout-out, Linji Studios wants to invite you to enter their new contest where the winner gets to design a new card to be included in every copy of Alchemist Academy. Check out Alchemist Academy Kickstarter for more details. The Kickstarter ends on September 20th, so don't miss out. And now, what's in the news? And speaking of Kickstarter, if you remember, Ross Watson was on the show not too long ago with some of his friends talking about their new RPG, Accursed. The Accursed Kickstarter starts this Friday, September 13th. So if you're excited to get involved with that, check that out. In other news, new board game hotness. Remember the board game Mage Wars? It is still a fantastic two-player dueling game. Just new expansion just has hit the streets. Druid versus Necromancer. Nature versus Undead. How awesome is that? Let's see. Speaking of expansions, Fantasy Flight Games has announced and released the new Lieutenant Pack, the first of the new series of Lieutenant Packs. This one features a dragon Valindra, I guess, her lieutenant pack. It features a new sculpted figure, threat tokens, and a 10-card plot deck, adding more depth to your campaign and a new lieutenant for the Overlord to wield against those pesky heroes. I love it. I'm sure Wakeland could. I could use the help. Yes, Wakeland could indeed use the help. Oh, also, special thank you to Stephen Bonacore of Stronghold Games. He's a dirty trader. No, he's not, Wakeland. He's helping out the listeners. Special thanks to Stephen Bonacore of Stronghold Games for hooking up our runner-ups in our last contest. Everyone who was on the dice rolling list there will be receiving a nice prize from Stronghold Games. So thank you, Stephen, for that. Let's see, other new news. A bunch of new Pathfinder stuff from Paizo Games. Let's see, Pathfinder Venture Path, Iron Gods, and let's see, Advanced Class Guide. The Iron Gods in Adventure Path, exploring one of the most mysterious realms of the inner sea regions. Looks pretty cool. And the Advanced Class Guide is going to add a lot more classes to the game, including the War Priest, a Cleric Fighter, the Slayer, a Ranger Rogue, a Hunter, Druid Ranger, and a Shaman, Oracle Witch. Pretty cool. Let's see. Also, the other big news going on right now, other than everything and its cousin coming out of GenCon, is Firestorm Armada 2.0 has been announced. Models will still be compatible, but the interesting thing they've done here is that old models will have slightly different rules than the newer classes of ships. Basically, time has passed and new classes of ships have been released. So you have the older classes, they're just a little different. New streamlined rules, new streamlined torpedo system, as well as some other exciting things we'll be looking forward to in Firestorm Armada. So if you're interested in that, head on over to spartangames.co.uk. And that's what's in the news.
Hey, and now I would like to talk about Winged Hussar Publishing.
Yes.
Because, there's a lot going on with Winged Hussar Publishing, and we sometimes miss the mark a little bit on all of the cool stuff that they're doing. And right now, they've got some really cool books coming out. Mm-hmm. Okay, they've got this book coming out in September that's a color uniform book on the 18th century. That's an invaluable resource for all the historical wargamers out there, especially you guys who are worried about what metal the different buttons are made out of.
Or if you're just a miniature painter in general and you're trying to look for color patterns that make sense and are realistic. There you go.
That's very true. Yeah, let's say you're doing Warhammer Fantasy, you're doing an Empire Army, but you want to have it something that makes sense, then you could look in historical book, and this book would be great. Or let's say you like me and you love the Romans, and let's say you are interested in particularly their military exploits. Mm-hmm. They've got a book coming out about Roman tactics called Stratagems. That sounds like an awesome book to come out. So Winged Hussar Publishing does all kinds of these cool historical books that are just really, really cool.
And don't miss the new fiction line coming out soon, right, Craig?
Oh, yes. Well, there is that.
The WXX, what is it? How many W's in this one?
Wild West Exodus. So
2 W's, 1 X. Right. WWX Exodus? No, I'm
okay. So Wild West Exodus books. There's going to be 3 novels, and it's going to be coming out bam, bam, bam. So it's going to be coming out. One is going to come out in October 22nd, and then the next one is going to come out on the 3rd week of November, and then the third one is going to come out in the 3rd week of December. So an entire trilogy in 3 months.
Right. Right. If only we knew the author and he could tell me how to pronounce this properly. It'd be...
Yes, well, he's tried several times and he's given up officially right now.
Check on wingedhussarpublishing.com.
Please do.
You looking for news, reviews, and interviews? The D6 generation. It's groovy as groovy does define, baby. The D6 generation. Born to game. Oh, yeah.
All right. Now it's time for Play by Mob. We're here till 1:30, folks. Don't leave yet. All right. I would like to invite the Engelsteins up to help us run this exciting, action-packed event. So we'd like to welcome Jeff Engelstein and his lovely daughter who are going to help us run this and design this game. All right, here we go. So here comes the setup. You, the crowd, you, the mob, are a swashbuckler, a knight-errant, a vagabond, a traveler on the road to adventure, and also wet. Very, very wet. Rain is pouring out of the sky, and it is putting a bit of a crimp in your usual jauntiness. Thankfully, off in the distance, you see a lantern struggling to remain lit, illuminating the sign of the only tavern for miles, McNerdigan's Pub. You regain, as we can hear, a bit of your jaunt. Let's call it a quarter jaunt and push toward the open door, ready for a relaxing meal, a mug of mead, and a restful feather bed. Instead, you are faced with a screaming and bedraggled and very, very, very wet mob of fellow swashbucklers, knights errant, and vagabonds, all screaming and waving gold at the proprietor. Apparently, he is not used to dealing with this many customers. Are you, Craig?
Adventurers, I am sorry to say that we only have food, drink, and beds for a quarter of you. The rest will need to sleep out in the barn, and a few crusts of bread will need to fill your bellies. I know that you all think that you have a jaunt in your step. Well, the beds will go to those who are truly brave, daring, dashing, and yes, jaunty. We will divide you into 4 teams and begin the battle.
All right. Up first to the teams. How are we going to do this, Jeff? So your columns, right? So
Wow, this column there is a little...
Sparse but strong.
It's got in the front. It's got feet.
It's got
Clearly that is the
Bonacore.
halfling contingent.
Bonacore counts as like 3 players,
That's
so you're all
true.
good.
Oh, look at him. He's also
look,
recruiting.
He's drafting from the
recruiting.
middle column. You better do some recruiting yourself. There, you're losing some players.
You're shedding jaunt.
All right.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we've got you broken up into 4 approximately equal teams. In intellect, if not in numbers. And we're going to go through 3 rounds. So each round is going to be judged by our panel of judges.
Yes, we are the panel up front.
Who are going to
Celebrity
rate you,
judges.
Celebrity judges.
Micro celebrity
We're going
judges.
to rate you from a 2+ to a 6+ on your performance.
Possibly with a reroll. Remember, 2+ is good, 6+ is bad, and a reroll is a half. Math be darned.
How are you going to do a half?
So we're going to pass out some paper and pens. But for the first round, the objective is you need to come up with a name for your team and a motto or cheer.
Right. This
And
is
then
called
you
the
present it.
This is the Battle of Panache.
Or panache.
Or panache, depending on if you're from England. Is that correct, England? See?
That's 2 to 103.
Or from Sweden. I'm sorry, where are you from? See? He's British. living in
I
Sweden.
did not correct you. She corrected
He
you.
does not. You do not currently live in England. You live in Sweden, correct?
That
He
doesn't
does.
mean he's not British.
Right.
But he's
If I move to Canada, I don't suddenly become
Canadian.
But you don't live in. But
All right.
Well
Nice.
played, sir. Well played.
Well played.
I was trying to remember how the Bare Naked Ladies say it in their children's album, Canadian.
All right. So each team now, be thinking of a good, is it a name and a battle cry, Jeff? Name and a battle cry. Name and a battle cry.
The Battle of Panache Panache.
Name and a battle cry.
3 minutes. 3
3
minutes.
Through the magic of radio, 3 minutes have passed. 20 seconds. This team is done.
We've got 1 team done, 2 teams done, 3 teams done.
Everyone is done.
Everyone is done. Excellent.
All right, let's do
now
this.
explain your little
All right, now
improvisation.
what I'd like to do to help with prize distribution, we're going to ask each team to pick someone to read their answer, and then the whole team will do the cheer together. Whoever reads the answer must be someone who has not received a prize yet, and that person's going to get a prize. And that person's got to rotate around each round to pick different people who are going to read the answer. All right? All right. Up first, the team on the far left. Who is your nominated speaker for this round? Excellent, sir. All right. What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Kurt Parr, and I'm from Southwest Wisconsin.
Excellent. That's a trip. All right. Kurt, what's your team name?
Our team name is Jaunt Valjeant.
Ooh, the jauntiest. I like that.
And our team cheer is
Well done. All right, now we got to rate that. Here we go. Ready? It's like
Do we
figure
have to
skating.
rate it?
Right now, just like figure skating. Right now. Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. So you got to leave room for improvement on this.
I know.
That's how it rolls. We're gonna. Yeah, just don't worry. It's gonna be fine. That was pretty good.
Okay.
All right, I'm ready. Ready?
Interesting.
1, 2, 3. Reveal. Craig, what did you choose?
I chose 4+ with a reroll.
I too chose 4+ with a reroll. And Nicole?
Oh.
5+ from Nicole.
The Russian judge.
Our mathematician from MIT will figure out the score and present the winners later.
Okay.
All right, next.
Our team is called
The Sharknadoes. The Sharknadoes.
The Sharknadoes. What? All right. Now, who's your speaker? We need a motto. And where are you from?
L.A.
L.A. Well, that's a trip too. Nice. All right. So,
Ran here, too.
Sharknado. That's why they get it.
so is your team named Snarknado? It is?
Our team name is the Sharknado.
Oh, well done. And what is your cheer?
Our cheer is
Oh, that's pretty good.
Wow, that's like double pandering.
All right. All right, lock him in. Remember, lower is better, panel, and me, and Craig. All right, here we go. Ready? Here we go. Everybody locked in, judges? All right, here we go. Craig? 4 plus.
4 plus.
4 plus. And a 2 plus. 2. Wow. Wow, all right. All right.
We love you, fangirl.
Yet to be named, Team 3. Who's your speaker? Where are you from? What's your name?
I'm Sean Hogan from Anchorage, Alaska.
Ooh, that's a try. Whoa, nice. And what is your team name?
Rapier Wits.
Ooh.
Clever.
Pandering to the fencing guy, I see.
I like it.
All right, what's your cheer?
Pointy end first!
Ooh, pointy end first.
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh. All right, everybody, lock in, judges. Locking in. Locking in. Who's Simon up here? I'll be Simon. All right, here we go. Ready? Go ahead, Craig.
3 plus with a reroll.
I'm going to go with 3 plus. Not enough smiling over there. 4 with a reroll. All right.
All right.
All right.
I think we all know who Simon is.
That was my weak Simon. Oh, yeah, maybe.
Simon with a penchant for Sharknado.
Oh, I see. All right. And the final team, Team 4. All right, Grace.
Here we go.
What's your name and where are you from?
My name's Will Stein, and I'm from Downers Grove, Illinois.
Oh, nice. Great. All right. What was your team name?
Russ McFancy Pants.
Where's 6 plus? All right. And what is your cheer?
Oh, my.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
That is.
Oh my God, they just totally win it all.
All right. All right. Here we go. Lock in, judges.
I'm gonna call you Russ McFancy Pants.
I'm changing my number now after that. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead, Craig.
I like it. 3 plus with a reroll.
Nice. I'm giving it a 6 because you got a new nickname at home. Seriously? Oh, 2 plus from Total Fangirl. All right. That was a battle for panache. Well done, teams.
Okay, so the highest scoring team there was the Rapier Wits.
Woo!
4 points for you.
4 points.
Wow.
Sharknado's in second, 3 points.
Yay!
Russ McFenty Pants.
Wow.
And 1 point for
No.
the Jean Valjean.
Hey, Miss Fancy Pants, did you get a prize? Come on down and pick up a prize out.
You just call him McFancy.
Yeah, the team McFancy Pants.
Team
All right.
McFancy Pants. Okay,
Next
now.
up, the Battle of Swagger. Swagger. Say it with me. Swagger. Yeah. All right. So, Jeff, we start with the same teams. We're going to change the order up here this time.
You can take a few of those if you want
Why don't we start
those.
with
Take
team?
a few of those.
All right. What's the mission?
Take like a big handful.
How
Take
do we-
them all.
The mission is
Take them. Go.
They're magic cards.
Yeah,
take every one you want.
Take as many magic cards as you want. Take them all.
In fight, here, somebody give him a bag.
Give that guy more magic
All
cards.
the cards.
All right. All right. So now, what's the Battle of Swagger there, Jeff?
You need to come up with a drinking song.
A drinking song.
Preferably having to do with your name and motto.
Right. The more
may
you
want to
tie it
base
in, the
that
better.
on some existing tune that you
All right.
know to make it a little simpler.
Again, you shall have a few moments. We're going to start with a different team this time. So we're going to start with, and we'll go that way, right? All right. So you have 3 minutes starting now. A drinking song. The Battle of Swagger.
And go.
Again, 3 minutes magically pass. 4, 3, 2.
They're good.
1.
They're good.
All right.
Okay.
This round, we're going to start with Russ McFancy Pants. John, you get the mic? We want a team song, but you can lead along if you want. Okay, ready? Russ McFancy Pants, go. Here's your song.
My name is Russ McFancy Pants, and I have a fast swagger. When I drink down the old Goldschlager. Once I drink, I'm not wholly spry, but I can dance a tune away and make the ladies say, oh my.
Oh, nicely written.
Okay,
Good lyrics.
okay.
I liked it. That was good.
I think they were very
Ambitious was the word there.
Ambitious is the word I was thinking.
All right. Are we ready? Craig, what did you rate McFancy Pants?
Really, I can't give it anything better than a 5+ with a reroll.
Oh. I'm going to give it a 4+ the reroll because I was mentioned twice.
I'll give it a 4+ with a reroll also.
All right.
Yeah.
Jeff, did you get the score there for that one? All right, up next is Rapier Wit.
Oh, and Captain, get a prize.
Yep, get a prize over there, Mr. Singer.
Oh, yes. The vocalist.
All right.
I went to the bar and sat upon a bench, drank myself to oblivion and flirted with the wench.
We spent the night together. She broke my pointy blade. And then forever after, a wife for me she made.
Woo! That was impressive for 3 minutes. I'm not going to lie.
Yep.
All right, Craig.
Yep.
What'd you choose?
I liked it. I'm going to go with a 3+ with a reroll.
I'm going 2+ with a reroll.
I went 2+.
For group participation.
That's true.
That was pretty impressive.
Yep. And I did 2+.
All right.
Nice.
Well done to Rapier Wit. Sharknado.
No. It's Team Sharknado!
Wait, I do it again? From the coast of the Pacific, Ram fly Sharknadoes to victory. With the copies of Agricola to V Kaiju Beasties. Wow!
Woo! Oh, wow. That was good. Wow, that was a tough one.
Got a little blurry in the middle there, but I got to give it a 2+.
Woo! I'm going to go 3+ with a reroll just for the flub in the middle, but it was fantastic.
I'm doing 2+ with a reroll because Sharknado!
Wow.
That
All
may
right.
mess with the curve a little bit.
Maybe. All right.
And Jean Valjean.
Jean Valjean, you're up. Who led the cheer? You get a prize if you haven't got one already.
Make sure the leader of the cheer comes up and gets a prize.
Sharknado. Did someone get a prize that round, Sharknado? Get a prize. All right, you're up.
You guys ready? All right.
The entire crew is
Oh,
there.
wow.
Intimidating.
They were done first, too.
What do you do with the smelly gamer? What do you do with the smelly gamer? What do you do with the smelly gamer? Early Friday morning. Throw him in the shower until he's cleaner. Throw him in the shower until he's cleaner. Throw him in the shower until he's cleaner. Early Friday morning.
Wow. And
Flawless.
And they had choreography.
Yeah, where is it?
Choreography.
Yeah, you
2+
can
the
find
reroll
the
for Nicole.
card. Yeah.
2+ the reroll. They swept that round. Wow.
Well done.
Well done. So, Mr. MIT,
Mr.
how are we doing?
Okay, so after 2 rounds, Rapier Wits have 7 points. The Sharknadoes have 6 points.
Nice.
Jean Valjean has 5, and Russ McFancy Pants has 4.
All right.
Anybody's game.
Anybody's game.
Anybody's game.
Now we move into the battle. You want to do Biddle instead of Daring Do? Daring Do next? All right. The Battle of Daring Do. How does this one work, Jeff?
Okay, sorry. This is a two-part one. First, you're all going to need to make an entry, filling in the blank, which is explain the D6G rating system in the style of blank. And then we're going to collect them, and you're going to draw one at random and have to perform that explanation in the form of that character or whatever.
Right.
You may pick your own, so keep that into consideration.
Right. So, and don't forget, we have a hard time limit, so if we end at 1:30, we'll score to what it is. All right. So first, come up with, you got like 1 minute to write down a name or style to describe the D6G rating system. Go. Keep in mind, you may get your own style. You may get your own style. Be careful. If you make it too hard, you can burn yourself. Again, a little radio magic. Wake up, Mr. Bonacor. I see you yawning over there. All right, 10 seconds, people. That's your submission. We
yeah,
did.
Sharknadoes.
9.
Let me see. Can I see it?
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, hand in all your ideas to the front.
Thank you all.
All right. Now send up a captain to retrieve a random idea.
Thank you.
We
will read it.
Oh, we'll read it. Okay, ready? Here we go. Shuffle them up.
We'll do them as we
We can do them as we go. Yeah, we can do them as we go. Okay, ready? So we'll read them. All right, here we go. No, go back. All right. All right, we'll start with Team B this time. We'll start with Sharknadoes.
Yes.
Right back up again.
Here we go.
Well, Craig's going to read it. We're going to read it, and you're going to have 10 seconds to figure
You're
something
getting
out.
the full experience.
Yeah, because in the show, literally, I throw this to Craig. He doesn't know what it's going to be. So go back to your team. The whole team's going to go. All right, here we go. Sharknadoes. Ready?
With the amount of time, well, no, it's not. It's got to be one person.
All right, one person.
I'll yell at the same time.
Yeah, all right.
and
Pick
we
a person. Pick a person. Here we go.
Okay, here
He'll get
we
a
go.
prize.
Oh, this is quite fitting.
All right, here we go.
Explain the D6 generation patent pending rating system in the style of The Swedish Chef.
Mort. Wow. The right guy got that one.
Would you like me to do it in Swedish, or would you actually genuinely in Swedish, or actually Swedish Chef?
Your interpretation.
The Swedish Chef is a character.
Okay.
Power. The one you guys were thinking of when you wrote it. You remember that part about maybe getting stuck with your own.
Right.
A 6 plus. Två, 2 plus.
Get a prize. Come down and get a prize for that. Get a prize for that. Wow.
Oh, it's two. Oh, okay. So we will be rating. We'll be doing 2 ratings: concept and execution.
All right. First the concept.
First the concept. Only because I apparently need to give a little room for growth. I'm going to give that a no. I
No,
can't.
this is a concept. No, execution or concept?
2 plus with reroll. Concept.
Oh, concept. 2 plus the reroll.
I can't. Yeah.
Oh, I did 3 plus with a reroll.
All right, that's fair.
Oh, she's the judge she's the Russian judge.
Now,
execution.
Their execution?
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
2 plus the reroll. You're hard to beat. All right, we started with Shark. Next up is Rapier Wit.
Rapier Wit. Do you have your person design? No, you just sit. Please stay behind the red ribbon.
All right.
Okay, ready? Russ, you tell me when to stop shuffling.
And pick one.
It's Russ's fault if it's bad. Okay. In the style. Oh, wait. Please explain the D6 generation patent pending review system in the style of a drunken My Little Pony.
Yeah.
To add cultural relevance and to put our own unique stamp in this, we will accept a drunken brony as well.
Right. We will. That's fine.
Okay. So it's like this. If Twilight Sparkle were to conjure wings, okay, and she put them on, oh man, what was the flyer? Oh, the flyer. Oh no, what is her name? Rainbow Dash. Yeah, Rainbow Dash. If she put them on Rainbow Dash, okay, that would be like useless and boring. And redundantly redundant. So, 6 plus. That's bad. Okay. Now, if she were to give Rainbow Dash her own show, now that would be awesome, and that would be like 2 plus with a reroll, which means better than awesome. Yes, there we go. So low numbers are good, high numbers are bad, like Rainbow Dash with extra wings.
Woo! Nicely done. All right.
We're
rating the concept, right?
That was Jean Valjean, I think.
Which team said Rainbow Dash? So we're going to rate
Jean Valjean.
Jean Valjean on their idea of using Rainbow Dash, right? Or My Little Pony.
No,
Drunken
My
Little Pony.
My Little Pony.
Drunken My Little Pony. Ready? I'm going to give. You ready yet?
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm the
All right.
cranky judge. I don't want to be the cranky
I'm going to
judge.
give. You go first, Craig.
I'm going to give 3+ with a reroll on that idea, just because there's so much rainbow.
I am
pony
too, because
stuff.
right now My Little Ponies is big this year at Gen Con. The card game's coming out. It's huge. So I'm going to give also a 3+ to reroll. Very, very
I was
topical.
I would.
Dude,
It's
no, seriously.
topical, but it's also frightening.
No, wait. Let me just. This is a fact. The second most popular selling comic book in the United States right now, after Walking Dead, is the new My Little Pony series. That is a fact.
That's the
It
world
is
you're
huge.
living in,
It is
people.
huge.
You made it that way.
All right. Now for execution.
Execution.
With a drunken rainbow dash. All right, Craig, you got one there?
Yeah. I'm going to say 2+. 2+. I particularly like the fact that I thought he couldn't actually remember a character name, but
Yeah.
that was acting. Well done.
I'm going to go with 3+ because he knew the characters but didn't do a voice.
Oh, there was
I'm
no
going
drunkenness.
3+.
Yeah, he wasn't really drunk. That's all.
No.
That's why they call it acting.
I also had 3+.
And a three from Total Fangirl. Awesome. All right.
All right. So
Next up is Russ McFancy Pants. You guys ready?
Okay, ready? You tell
Here we
me
go.
when to stop. Tell me when
Stop.
to
Stop.
stop.
Holy cow.
Now, in explain the blah 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 rating system blah 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 in the form of a space cadet captain on his 5-year mission.
Ooh. All right. Who's your captain over there? Chance for a prize. The prize pool still got some good stuff in it. All right, we got a volunteer.
And he's got a
Here we go.
NASA shirt. It's
All right.
appropriate.
So, it's like this. We were out in the middle of nowhere. Dribbles to the left, dribbles to the right. It was a total 6+ situation. Damn it, Bones! My God. And then, the Vulcan High Command contacted us. 2 Romulan warbirds came up from behind. Disruptors firing. We didn't know what to do. But there was a green girl. 2+.
All right. First, which team recommended that one? That was well done.
That was Rapier Wit's recommendation.
Rapier Witt, for the idea, Craig, what do you rate the idea?
The idea. I'm going to give the idea a 3+.
I will too.
I think we've actually done that one.
I think we may have, but it was great. 3+ also
It's
for
a
good
good one.
idea.
It's a
Good idea.
I was backwards. 3+ on the idea. Yeah.
3+, nice.
That's right.
Now for the execution. Oh, the drum roll. Craig's thinking. Oh, I like the crowd.
3+ with a reroll.
3+ the reroll.
Got a little lost in the narrative in the middle there, but you pulled it out with the green girl. I liked it.
I'm going 2+ with a redo. I think it was as well executed as a Swedish Chef, but he had to actually come up with words to say.
And I went 2+ for Captain Kirk.
With a reroll.
With a reroll.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, our last team here. Jean Valjean.
Valjean.
Only one choice left. Oh my God. This is wildly inappropriate, but it's your fault.
Yeah.
Your fault.
We are not going to take any heat from
No.
this.
None.
Send emails to GenCon Mob at GenCon.
Care of McFancy Pants.
Right.
Explain the rating system in
my
the
God.
style of Stephen Hawking.
Really?
Oh, it's over right now. We have like 2 minutes.
That's right. Finish it up. Oh, it's ours.
Embrace the madness.
Love it.
You've got to sit.
This is so wrong. Today's Playboy Mob is sponsored by Stronghold Games. There's a visual here. That's not right.
I just want to say I'm sorry up front. It's horrible.
Okay, wait. It's an audio medium. Audio medium.
There's a visual.
So, the way the rating system goes is that you ought to consider the universe as a whole. When we consider life as we know it, we are disappointed with a 6+. When we consider how hot my ride is, it's a 2+.
Wow. All right. First, we have to rate the concept. Which team owned that one? All right, that was Russ McFancy Pants.
I hope you're proud.
We got to rate the concept. All right.
Okay.
Craig's concept.
I'm going to rate the concept a 6.
6. It was wrong. It was wrong.
In so many ways.
I mean, yeah.
It was freaking awesome.
2+ in the reroll from Total Fangirl. But now for execution.
Yeah. And where's the pen?
Where's the pen?
The pen?
This is the last one,
Yeah, that's
right?
it. All right, here we go. Final rating. Craig, what'd you pick? 2+ reroll. I pick 1+ with a reroll.
2++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++
end the battle there. We're out of time. So, Mr. MIT, what's our final score? What were the scores that round and then final standings?
Okay.
Reverse order.
Okay, for that round, in fourth place was Ross McFancy Pants. Then in third place was the Rapier Wits. Second place was Jean Valjean, and the winner was the Sharknadoes.
That was that round, right?
Just for the round.
Now for the Battle of McNerdigan's Pub. Who was the winner?
Oh, I took your pen. Sorry.
Who was the winner? And the winning team gets to come down and raid the rest of the prize loot in any order they want.
Okay.
Did all the captains come in?
In fourth place with 5 points is Ross McFancy Pants.
Oh, fourth place. There are no losers, just fourth place winners.
Third place with 8 points. It was very close. Jean Valjean.
Woo!
In second place with 9 points is the Rapier Wits. Oh, Sharknado!
Raid the prize
Thank you
pool,
guys.
Sharknado.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, everyone.
for being a part of this event. And don't go away without a patch. We'll probably be out in the hallway giving them out.
We have patches for everyone. So
we have patches for everybody.
Thank you, everyone. If you would like to see video of the wildly inappropriate Stephen Hawking scene from this year's GenCon Play by Mob event, listener Carl Fritz was kind enough to record it and upload a video to YouTube. Head on over to youtube.com and search for D6G Play by Mob. It'll pop up right at the top. We're not proud, but we thought you should see it.
You're listening to the D6 generation. More to gain.
Hey, Craig, who makes the best damn coins ever?
That would be Conquistador.
That's right. You know what's cool about CQ Games is they get things done with Kickstarter, but they also make great stuff. They have some fantastic board games, the New Science, which I really enjoy, one of my favorite games they've done. But also it's just wrapping up now. You might still be able to sneak in. When this show goes live, there'll be a couple days left. The best damn gaming coins ever.
Jump on it.
Go to Kickstarter, check it out. If you miss it, don't worry. Follow along, see if you can jump in later, whatever. But it is going to be fantastic. It is just great metal coins, all kinds of great shapes, all kinds of great counters, and that's what's great about CQ Games. They They've got it figured out. They get the Kickstarters done right. They've got the fantastic games they're getting to you. They've got podcasts now with industry insiders in them. Just head over to cqgames.com and check out all the greatness.
You've got to see these coins too. I mean, if you're looking to bling up your Spartan game, Spartacus, this is definitely the way to go. For a fraction of the money on the Kickstarter, you're going to be getting these awesome historical looking coins, and you can choose Greek, you can choose Roman, you can choose Middle Ages, Vikings. I mean, there's all kinds of options, and this Kickstarter went nuts. So
did I just read that right? It's $100 for 500 coins.
It's craziness, man.
That's just wow. How do they even do that?
That's enough for a whole bunch of your friends to all bling up their Spartacus games.
Wow. Holy mackerel. That is amazing. So head on over, check that out.
The minute you hear this, you need to stop whatever device you're listening to, jump on the internet, and get a load of this Kickstarter before it goes away.
Pause the freaking show and check it out.
That's right. And that's us telling you that.
That is right. cqgames.com.
This is Total Fangirl. Regular Jane most days, total fangirl when the moment strikes. Han shot first. Starbuck is a guy. And Lestat, now there's a vampire. Hey everyone, this is Nicole, your Total Fangirl. You can follow me on Twitter at Nicole Wakeland and check out my blog, TotalFangirl.com. This week's shout out. Good luck to the Angel City Derby girls, Hollywood Scarlets, at the WFTDA Division I tournament in Richmond, Virginia, September 13th to 15th. Pop, pop. I'm going to talk about something this week that was a big deal for Russ and I over the summer, and is actually a big deal for me coming up, going to New York Comic Con. And what that is actually when you go to these conventions, managing to carry all your stuff and staying connected. It's a problem because, well, there's a few things. First of all, you're in this environment where you're generally not having a good connection because it's you and about 30, 40, 50,000 other people trying to get on the internet through your cell phone at the same time, and everything gets bogged down and doesn't work. But a bigger problem is that your gadgets die. And there's a lot of different ways to charge your gadgets. Some of them work really well, and some of them not so much. Now, one of the things I used to use when I had an iPhone was the Mophie, and I really liked it, was a huge fan, and my biggest complaint about that was that when you pulled it out of your back pocket, the two pieces would tend to come apart. But otherwise, that worked pretty well. There's other options for cell phones. In fact, there's tons of them. There's something for just about every phone out there. The one Russ has been falling in love with for his iPhone 5 is actually by a company called MyCharge. And MyCharge also makes these portable chargers that Russ and I took everywhere at GenCon. And the nice thing about them is that you can charge a bunch of gadgets at once. So depending on the connections your friends have, you can even charge your buddy's phone as you're sitting there having lunch. And just in general, plug it in while you're eating lunch. By the time you're done, you're going to find that your gadgets are charged enough to keep you going. But better than all those things was something that Russ was a little bit skeptical about, because it replaced an older version or a similar version of this that he had. And it's a charging backpack. The one we tried was called the Tilt Energy backpack, and Tilt is spelled funny, TYLT. This is a $200 backpack, and I know now all you guys are going, that's a lot of minis. That's a lot of board games, $200. The cool thing about this is it's all those little gadgets that you would stick in your pocket and stick in your bag and be tempted to leave and forget here and there. And the extra heavy-duty battery charger you got to put on your phone so that your phone weighs twice as much as it normally will and won't fit in your pocket anymore. You don't need to worry about it because it's all covered in this backpack. And you can also use it to carry all the loot that you're going to collect. Although, if it's board games you're collecting, good luck with that because the things are too big to fit in anything. You just got to haul those puppies around or head back to your hotel room. So Russ had this Tilt Energy backpack. And the cool thing about it, you can charge 3 things at once, and all the cables are wound through this backpack, so you don't reach in and just have cables shooting out in 40 different directions. They're sort of built in, and they feed through panels in the backpack. You can charge your iPhone, you can charge tablets, you can charge more than one of these things at the same time. So again, still in the same situation where you can charge 3 devices at once, which is kind of nice. Especially, again, you sit down at lunch, you take a break, you're off your feet, plug stuff in, and you're charged, and you can carry all your loot in here too. So we kind of fell in love with this backpack. And here's the cool part for those of you who've waited till the end. If you would like to have your very own Tilt Energy backpack,
I'm going to give you one. I'm going to run a giveaway that's going to be starting. Okay, I have to double check with Russ. When he runs this episode of the D6 Generation, when it goes live, we'll be having this backpack running. And all you have to do is either go to my site, totalfangirl.com, or go to the d6generation.com, and there'll be a little widget that will tell you how to enter. And if you win the backpack, we will send it out to you. The only stipulation is it's got to be in the continental United States, because if we ship this puppy to, the Ukraine or something, it's going to cost more than the backpack, and that just won't work. So you go to the d6generation.com or go to totalfangirl.com. You'll see the ways that you can enter to win this cool backpack. And then the next time you're at a convention, you won't have to worry about running out of juice for your gadgets, and you'll still have plenty of space to carry all your snacks and all those tokens and dice that you know you're going to buy.
Hey, well, when those noises come, it's either a wolf or a Viking, and that sounds to me like Vic the Viking.
Is Vic the Viking?
Excellent. Now, Vic the Viking is, of course, the mascot. The man behind the myth, the legend, the awesome, the games. That is the War Store. And the War Store, they've been bringing the War to your door since 1999. These guys have been around a long time. Best prices on the net. They do a fantastic job. If you need it, they've got it. And they did such a great selection of miniatures, such a great selection of board games. But really, it's just the depth of the miniatures and the knowledge of the miniatures and the fact that these guys are at the conventions. They're there. They were Spartan Games presence at many conventions recently. They just have the connections. They get the stuff there. They get it early. You go to their website, you'll see when it's coming out.
You bet. They can, and it's a great place for news. Just go to their front page and you can see all the new releases for all the different games that are coming out. It really is just a one-stop shop for not only the greatest miniatures gaming stuff at the best prices on the net, but you've also got all this news as well. It's just a great resource for gamers in general.
And they're on Twitter. They're on Facebook. They are everywhere. Check them out. Head on over to thewarstore.com.
And don't forget about the War Store weekend.
Oh, that's right. That's coming pretty soon, isn't it?
That is November 1st through the 3rd.
Yeah, don't miss that out. If you are in the New Jersey, New York area, you definitely want to be heading over to the War Store weekend.
Because they've got everything going on that weekend.
Exactly right. And that's available at thewarstoreweekend.com. How easy is that to remember? These guys even know how to make URLs properly. Look at that.
Easy. It's easy.
I'm Rafe Hollywood Granger, and this is the Hollywood Minute.
Welcome back for another edition of the Hollywood Minute. All right, a lot to get to today. We have to talk about War Machine in building and painting the Conquest. We have to talk about Splinter Cell, Blacklist, and we have to talk about preparing for a role-playing game. So tomorrow is another Tuesday, and Wakeland and I are going to be throwing down. Of course, it'll be a couple 8 days, 10 days after you hear this, but we're going to be throwing down a 50-point battle. And what I'm really psyched about, shameless plug for our sponsor, is Romeo just had delivered to me after I ordered it my carrying case for my Colossal and my carrying foam for my battle engine. And when I say carrying case, I mean foam. So I'm totally psyched about that. No more carrying it around by hand and thinking I'm going to drop it or ruin it. And I'm really happy with how the Colossal came out. I had some pictures tweeted, but if I think of it, I'll throw them up on the blog so you don't have to find back in the tweets. And I'm looking forward to our 50-point game. I'm doing that age-old debate with, am I going to do a fully painted list and play a list I quite don't want to play, but it'll look good, or play some new models that I want to check out. So you know what? I'm going to let Wakeland be the judge. If he's playing unpainted, then I'll play some unpainted, and if he's playing fully painted, then I'll play fully painted. That reminds me, I got to text him, see what he's intending on doing. Now, next order of business is Splinter Cell. So the new Splinter Cell called Blacklist came out, and it's a hearkening back to the Splinter Cell that I remember playing, God, I don't know, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, some while ago. And Wakelin played, and Chris Flores played, and Dave Farr played, and Vince played, and we just had this regular crew of guys, and we played Spies versus Mercs. And I swear it was as if I lived in the Splinter Cell world. I mean, I remember some of those maps and the elevator shaft and the theater and all these different maps like I really lived it. And I remember it as the spy more than the merc. I remember that was the best game I was ever to do the best at multiplayer. And I just had so much fun. So I was really excited to see about 6 months ago when Splinter Cell was harkening back to that old style of multiplayer, and they sure did capture. As a matter of fact, there's even a multiplayer section called the Classic Spy versus Merc. That's really fun to play, but even the new Spy versus Merc stuff is really fun. And your Spy advances levels, and your Merc advances up, and there's 3 different types of Spies styles you can pick, almost like talents, and 3 different types of Mercs that you can pick, and it's just been a blast. And then Farr and I did a multiplayer co-op last night, and we were just it was the best fun I've had on a computer game in a long, long time. Speaking of that, I did something kind of new. Still trying to have some fun in Lord of the Rings, and I am having some more fun, and I wondered if it was because it was the death of my kin. Really liked the kinmates, but nobody was logging in anymore. And it was so empty that there'd be no one to log in and chat. So I changed kins, did some searching around, and I think what's kind of crazy is that it looks like the kin's really active on weeknights, but I play a lot on Saturday mornings, and I don't think there hasn't been anybody logged in. So it seems like I've changed kins, but I haven't really met any new people yet. But still bumbling around in Lord of the Rings, and if you want to check it out, I'm on the Land Roval server. Let's see, what else? I forgot what was my third topic. Oh, preparing for role-playing games. So I'm having the second annual Rafe's Scooter Drive and Dungeon Delve birthday bash this Saturday, and my birthday's actually tomorrow and Tuesday, and which kind of works out. It's fun. It's game night. But on Saturday, we're getting about 6 of us together. We're going to go take a scooter ride up the seacoast, which is hilarious because half the people in the game group think it's the most ridiculous thing, that I think it's a blast, and the other half think it's fun to actually go scootering. I drive around and I pretend like I'm a motorcycle rider, and I do the motorcycle wave, and motorcycle riders wave back to me, and they either are laughing at me thinking I'm ridiculous, or they go, "Hey man, any way to have fun is to have fun," that's the voice I hear inside my head. And then we're going to go back to my office, which has a nice big conference room table, and we're going to do a dungeon delve. And I'm torn between playing second round. Last year we did Black Crusade, and I'm torn between doing that again. We're going to have half of the old players and 3 new players, or doing my favorite role-playing system of all time, which is what? Mouse Guard. Or with Luke Crane's new game called Torchbearer, which I believe to have be just releasing either through Kickstarter or out of Kickstarter. Thinking about trying out Torchbearer, which I understand is Mouse Guard Advanced, and you don't necessarily have to play it. Well, I don't think you do play a mouse. You play a human fighter, you play a mage, you play a cleric, you play a ranger. It's supposed to be very old school, and I started to read the rules on Torchbearer, but I got a little bit intimidated because he said it was advanced, and it looks like you need all these peripherals to help, like cards to help and things like that. Have a card set, which does help with Mouse Guard too. But the role-playing system is so cool with their conflict system, so I've got to make a decision. I guess if Torchbearer isn't going to work, or there's not enough pre-made characters out there, or Game Master aids in PDF format already, then I'm going to go ahead and probably default back to Mouse Guard. So I think I'm leaning towards Mouse Guard to be the dungeon delve for this year. So without further ado, I got to get out my scratch pad and my dice and plan some RPGing. Until next time, this is Rafe Hollywood Granger. You can follow me at the D6G Hollywood on Twitter or on my blog, jimmydjango.com.
Laser
Lasercraft.
Yeah, that I'm not sure that was pleasant.
Yeah, that was a laser crafting.
Okay. Well, hopefully
Tokens, templates, terrain, and more for your tabletop games.
Yes.
Urban Lasercraft is where you want to go.
our friends at Urban Lasercraft, we happen to know the founder of Urban Lasercraft.
True. He dresses in white suits and drinks from mint juleps on his porch now.
Does he really? That's right.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, but don't take our word for it. You got to check his stuff out. So head on over to urbanlasercraft.com. And what's great, what I like about what Will's doing over there, it's a fantastic job. They've got, first of all, he's got all kinds of stuff. He's got all kinds of acrylic and wood cutting that got going on over there. Movement templates and tokens for your favorite sci-fi games such as X-Wing or Attack Wing. They've got the great status tokens and scheme markers for any kind of miniature game.
Compatible with all sorts of different games.
And Malifaux's one of their favorites. They got that all nailed down. They've got 28mm sci-fi terrain. They've got some really cool hexagonal container crates that look just awesome.
As you know, the future is all about the hex.
It is. And they've got even hobby systems with paint trays and everything else. And what I like about what they've done is the acrylics, especially, the translucent tokens. What they do is to keep them affordable, and they are very affordable. They etch cool logos into them, but then they leave the protective coating, the little
it's like a strip of paper.
It's like a strip of paper on top of the laser after they cut it on top of the acrylic. So I can take, when I get mine, I just spray them with spray paint, whatever color I want, and that gets the spray paint into the symbol only. Then I peel the paper off, and boom, I've got a translucent token with a cool logo in the middle that's painted whatever color I chose. So I can mix and match the colors. Looks fantastic. Looks like it was really, really high end, but I got it at a really affordable price.
That's right. This stuff is awesome. We've got all kinds of stuff that we've been looking at. He did all sorts of stuff, and he'll do custom stuff for you too if you go out on that website and take a look and you get an idea in your head. So definitely go on over to urbanlasercraft.com and check it out. And of course, there's a coupon code too. So enter D6G in the coupon code, and you save 10% off your whole order.
Right. And don't forget, it's Urban Lasercraft. Urban like the city, Lasercraft like people who do things with lasers.
Lasers.
No one could have believed, in the first years of the 21st century, that gaming podcasts would spread across the planet like a strange red Martian weed. Striding among them, like a huge alien tripod, walked the D6 generation. The astronomer Ogilvy assured me that the chances of anything good coming out of New Hampshire were 1,000,000 to 1. But still, they came. The D6 generation. The greatest gaming podcast on this or any other planet. And the only one to feature words from Wales. And I looked up, straight into the eyes of my beloved Carrie.
Oh, it's time to talk about our friends at GameSalute.com. Craig, they have, what's great about GameSalute, and I like this about them a lot, is that they've been doing this now for a while in the industry. They've been publishing great games. They find these companies, these game designers who are out there saying, how do I start my Kickstarter project? I got this great idea. How do I get out there? How do I avoid all the perils and pitfalls and problems associated with games with kickstarting a game? And GameSalute's right there for them. They'll take a look at your idea. They'll vet it. They'll play test it. They'll go back to you and say, you know what? Change this. Tweak that. Here's what you want to do with your artwork. Here's what you want to charge for shipping. Here's how you want to set up your Kickstarter. Here's what you do, all that stuff. Take care of the pledge management, all that great stuff from GameSalute.com.
Yep, absolutely. They can do almost everything for you. Hold your hand through the entire process and make sure that it has been maximized for the ultimate Kickstarter impact.
It's right. And let's say you're not a game designer. You're like, but I want to see some of the cool cutting edge, small designer, small house studio publishers making some, designers making some great games. And that's where you head over to GameSalute.com and you'll see rotating right through the front page all these great games using fantastic artwork, great stuff like Alchemist Academy. Go learn how to be an alchemist. Play a game while you're doing that. What about maybe Bell of the Ball? It looks like a great dice-driven game.
Legends of the American Frontier.
Davy Crockett and Daniel Boone and all those great. You get to play those people. How awesome is that? So check it out. Head over to GameSalute.com and check out what truly is the latest hotness in gaming.
Get out today.
listening to the D6 Generation.
The following interview was recorded live at GenCon 2013, literally while walking the streets of Indianapolis. Originally, our intent was to edit this down and clip out all the strange bits that, happen when you're walking through a large metropolitan area with someone and chatting with them. But we thought, you know what? It might be more fun to hear all the craziness that occurred as we tried to interview Matt Wilson while walking around town. It also shows our, total professionalism or lack thereof. So without further ado, our discussion with Matt at GenCon 2013. All right, we are literally walking the streets of Indianapolis with Matt Wilson of Privateer Press. They're interviewing him live while we walk around the town. Matt, it's good to have you back on the show again.
Thank you. It's great to be here on the streets of Indianapolis.
It's great. Have you ever done an interview walking around the streets of Indianapolis?
I have not.
See, we're always trying to innovate here on the show, right, Greg?
That's right. We are trying to break new ground and forge a new path.
And not get run over by a car. We literally got to cross the street right now. You're hearing it live on the air. That's how good this is. 24 seconds.
Definitely the most dangerous interview that I've ever done.
Nice. We like to live on the edge here. So Matt, thanks for coming again. We haven't talked to you in I think we missed you last year. I think it's been maybe 2 years. Did we get to you last year?
I sat down with Rafe last year for quite a while. I think it was last year. It all blurs together now, though. It
is a blur.
For 18 years, and
an ambulance.
There you go. See, we're on the streets. Really
didn't make it across the street.
I'm okay. We're okay.
Not us.
Instead of these little benches or something. So anyway, this is. I want to talk to you a lot, Matt. There's a lot going on with Privateer lately, and you in particular around. They got video games and all kinds of craziness going on.
Yeah, it's been nonstop. I haven't slept in about 4 months.
Well, now last time we talked to you, you were really working. You'd moved to LA, and you were starting to shop movie ideas and other ways around that area. Have you been doing that still for a while and got back to the video games recently, or how did that work?
Yeah. Well, I'm still down in Los Angeles, and we still have a couple of different film projects that we're trying to get done. So that stuff's in play, but it's a pretty slow pace that those things move along at, and I found myself with a little time to be able to concentrate on the video game stuff, and one thing led to another, and pretty soon we did this Kickstarter for the War Machine Tactics video game, and that's what I've sort of had my head in now for about a solid 4 months, I'd say.
Yeah. Now, how did that come about? So you guys were doing the work with the video games, and you had gone one direction, and then direction changed. How did that whole change sort of happen?
It's there's sort of a lot of different factors that went into it, but basically we've been working with White Moon Dreams, the studio that's making the game, for I think 5 years now. I'm losing track, but we had been trying to get a game made for during that time. Well, actively for about 3 years after they had completed a demo, and we just weren't finding the right opportunities for us. The video game industry is it's a pretty crazy place right now. There's if you know anybody in it, there's been a lot of consolidation. There's been closures of studios and even publishers and things like that. So you kind of never know what's going to happen next with it, and then they have these really long evaluation periods on before they greenlight things, and our War Machine is it's got a great following, but it's not the install base that they want in order to greenlight a $15 million game or something even bigger. And I think so we were just not finding the right places. Some of the publishers they'd spend 7 months evaluating something, and then they'd come back and their marketing team would be like, well, we don't really understand it, or they'd come back and say we're not going to do this kind of game anymore. Right. Nobody wants this kind of game anymore, and so we just kind of kept running into the wall there, and so now I should say a few months ago we decided to kind of take it into our own hands and see if we could crowdsource the project, and it worked.
Now, you moved from the original game is going to be sort of a third-person kind of semi-adventure game, I guess, right? And it's changed pretty radically to be a very tactical, almost War Machine in a video game format with the same sort of play style, very tactical. Why was that decision made?
Well, when we first set out, we were aiming for a console product, right? And so we were trying to do a game that we felt was going to be well received on the console. Now, mind you, this is before like the recent release of XCOM, which I think sort of broke down that wall to turn-based strategy games, and all of a sudden people realized, hey, there's actually an audience that wants these kinds of games. It's just because these were games, or just because this style of game was innovated 20 years ago, doesn't mean that people don't want it anymore.
Sure.
So
very unusual conversation walking through a hotel lobby while we talk.
Where should we sit?
How about right over here on these couches or something, or in this little lounge?
Sitting there?
How about sitting right here? This is fine.
Here, get some.
Yeah, that's where we were last year. We're just finding a spot. This is great radio right here.
You can edit it.
Right. Let's have a seat. Order some drinks.
Where you want to sit? With the mic?
All right, why don't you sit in the middle? Actually, I'll sit in the middle. Craig, you sit on that side. I can pass the mic around. Back and forth. So you said the market was still... what you figured with the release of XCOM, it kind of inspired you guys to, hey, maybe a tactical turn-based game is still viable?
Well, there was definitely some of that, and we talked about it along the way. And there's a few different things. For one, the console game that we were originally trying to make, like they had budgeted that out at around $15 or $16 million, right? We had to have a publisher for that to get done, and it was a big chunk for to try and find somebody to back. The tactics game is, it's not as complicated to make this kind of game, so it was a lot more accessible. It was something that we knew we could make on $500,000, and it was within the scope of what we could hope or expect to be able to put together through a good crowdsourcing campaign. So that was like all of those kind of factors came together to say like if we want to do this ourselves, like we're not going to be able to do the giant budget game, which even at $15 million is a modest budget by the standards of a lot of the big AAA titles, right? But we want to make a game. And I think what we found out too along the way is based on the response that we've seen from our community, people were really happy that we went this direction instead of the console.
Yeah.
There were some people that were looking forward to that, and I certainly I hope someday to be able to have that action combat experience with War Machine, but overwhelmingly people have been really happy that we're creating this tactics game because for one, it is an underserviced category of game, right? Like there's just not that many games that scratch this itch, right? To do the turn-based tactics games, and then for two, I think it's what our players like to do, right? It's what they love about the game. They like to be able to go through these different thought processes and put together the combos and think tactically and strategically about these about the stuff that they're engaging with on the tabletop. So it's so the game is not it's not a direct interpretation. It's not like we haven't taken War Machine and put it right onto the video game in the same, like it's not a one-for-one kind of.
Good, thanks.
Need anything, or are you just hanging out?
I'll take a Diet Coke.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love a Coke.
I'll like a Diet Coke.
Okay, 2 diets for regular.
Thank you.
So that's fantastic. So in addition to that, how did you actually... Professionals, Matt.
You're going to have to leave this unedited.
That would be awesome. That'll be it is great. We're in the middle of the waitresses are coming. It's live. It's just... Rafe would actually love this. It's casual discussion with Matt is what it is.
That's exactly what Rafe would
complete with our drink orders.
Now, were you confident it was going to do well? Or how nervous were you going into this?
I was confident that we would fund, but I was nervous as hell, right? Hey, what's the old nervous as a... What is it? A chicken in a fox coop? I can't even remember.
Hen coop, something like that. Sounds good.
I don't know. I can't think.
Fox coops are rare.
That's what happens when you move to LA. You lose all these rural references, Matt. You don't have that. You're not in touch with the little man anymore.
It's going downhill fast.
It sure is.
Just when you think it can't get any further.
Exactly right.
We're on the bottom of the barrel
Which is
already.
saying a lot, considering we almost got hit by a car.
Right. Clearly, he listens to this thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, regular?
Regular right here. Thanks.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
This is going to fix everything because really I just need something
to drink. I know, right? Poor Matt's on the. Have you left the booth yet?
I have. Yeah. I got out a couple times. Managed to get a bite to eat. So my MO now is to give the appearance of being very busy, even though I have absolutely nothing to do. So
wow, that's pretty good.
I've actually tried to find things to do over the last couple of days that where I could feel useful again instead of like just an attendee.
Well, you helped us take that picture, which is great.
That's true. Yes, that was very useful.
Very handy.
It's little things like that.
Right, little things that.
Or I can give back. So as far as the question about whether or not we thought we would fun, we wouldn't have done it if we didn't think that that we could do it. And so I'd be lying if I said it was a surprise that we funded because I expected to. Right? We put in a ton of work, like for months, to organize this Kickstarter, and before that, for months working out the business plan for the game so that we knew exactly what we needed to go out.
Figuring the budget must have been kind of scary. Make sure your starting value was going to be the right number.
Yeah, it was, and it kept going up. We had originally wanted to do something a lot more modest, and but as we were breaking down the numbers on the game and creating the plan for that, it was like we sort of stripped it down to the most basic contained concept of the game that we could, with 2 factions and everything, and but even at that point, to do it at the quality that we wanted to be able to deliver it, right? Like, it kept going up from our original estimations of like what we would need, but we didn't want to take any risks with it, so we set the budget at what we actually needed, right? So that it wasn't one of these things where we artificially lowered it so that we could try and fund earlier or anything like that. We said that we always just said being transparent and being honest about the whole thing is the most important thing. And
right.
And so and I was prepared to fail, right? Like, if the thing like what if we missed? What if people didn't want the game? What if I look stupid in this video, right? Like, that sometimes that stuff happens, and like right now I feel pretty stupid talking, but
it's our fault. We blame ourselves.
Hopefully nobody's gonna have to pay to hear this.
We'll try not to. So,
but anyway, at any rate, so what I didn't expect was that we would do as well as we did, right? Like, that was a pleasant surprise. It was shocking how fast we actually funded. I had hoped that we would surpass our funding goal. The thing that everybody was praying for was we would hit that first stretch goal, right? Like, we had gone out for $550,000, which was the 2 factions with Signar and Kador in the game, and then but we really wanted to engage as much of our audience as possible, and so having the 4 core original factions in there was like, that had to be the first stretch goal no matter what, and we knew we could do it for another 100K on there, and so hitting that was like, that was the moment where we're like, this game is
you're making the game you want to make.
We're making the game now that we want to make, and that we know that everybody wants, right? And then from there it was like, we hit. I lost count. I think it's 16 stretch goals that we,
it was
we
crazy.
put in there. And not to be misleading with that, right? Some of those stretch goals were $150,000, and some of them were 11, right? So, and there were a number of small ones. So that, but at any rate, each one of those like put new content and features into the game, which is, building it out into this really cool thing. It's not changing the scope of what we're delivering on day one, right? But it means that we're going to be able to, the original plan was, okay, if we get the game out, then we can, through the sales of the game, we can continue to develop new stuff and create content releases. That would be a lot slower process had we not hit all these stretch goals. Now that we hit these stretch goals, we don't have to stop when we release the game. We don't have to stop developing, right? We can continue to develop, for months after that, because we've got the funding to keep everybody working. So
it was fantastic and really, really quick. Were you surprised by how much buzz came from outside the War Machine community?
Yeah, and I've said it a couple of times, so if I'm repeating myself, to me the best part about the Kickstarter was that we ended up with almost 20,000 backers, and that means that when this game releases on day one, 20,000 people are playing the game. You're not going to have a problem finding a match, right? If you want to play multiplayer, and that 20,000 people is going to multiply exponentially with the game's release, because Kickstarter sort of gives you this small slice of what the whole pie might look like, right? And so we've got a great community already established for this game, and a lot of them are new to War Machine, right? They're not coming to it from the tabletop, and that means we've been able to reach a new audience and sort of expand awareness on the property. And we've already seen a lot of those people who became our backers are now picking up the starter boxes and becoming players. And so it really is still, it's one big community around the idea of War Machine, which is cool.
I thought that was really clever. Two things that I thought were obviously both financially but also exciting as a War Machine fan. One was the tie-in with the exclusive figures with actual characters in the game. But the second one I thought was really exciting, which speaks to your thing, was when you guys launched all of a sudden a very good deal for Kickstarter backers on starter sets.
Sure, yeah. I mean, that was to try and give folks an opportunity to start engaging in War Machine before, right? If a turn-based tactical game appeals to you on the computer, it might really appeal to you on the tabletop as well, right? Like it fundamentally is pretty much the same. Not the same, but like the thought processes that you're going through, right?
That kind of same problems mentally.
Yeah, and so and if the IP is engaging, if you like the look of this world and stuff like that, there's a pretty good chance that you might be into the tabletop experience as well. So that's why we put that out there, let people know even more, about the legacy that this video game's being built on, and maybe have them join our community even sooner. So
yeah, that's fantastic. So is this going to be consuming? So now it's done, and it's now you guys got to deliver. I guess how much of that is on White Moon Dreams, and how much is that on you guys?
I've sort of put our company's good name on the slab for this, right? So so there's we're very invested in the success and the delivery of this product. But White Moon Dreams is the studio that's making it. I work with them on a regular basis. I'm working on the campaign story with these guys, so I get to because they're down in Los Angeles and I'm in Los Angeles. It works out really well for me to be able to have a lot of contact with them. It's not like we haven't. Not that we couldn't do it. They know the world so well now, and they're they've been working with it for a long time. You guys have seen the little bit that has been done so far. It's an extremely faithful interpretation to it, and I think they love this game and this world just as much as everybody at Privateer does up in Bellevue. So it's the amount of collaboration and cooperation between our companies is pretty staggering right now. I'd say it's unprecedented. I don't know if anybody else has worked this way. So, but they're the guys that know how to make the video games. We know how to make the miniatures. So,
so you doing a lot of the art and stuff, or do they have in-house artists? Or how's all?
Oh, they've got an amazing art team, a whole team of people that and the artwork that you saw, at least for a good portion of those new characters that we featured in the Kickstarter, was done by them, right?
Those prints look amazing.
The stuff is the big canvas prints. That's all them. The concept artwork for the Allison Jakes character and the Sturgis and a couple of the other guys that was all done by their in-house arts. So actually, those specifically were done by an artist named Todd Harris, who's their art director, and who just does amazing work. I can't wait to see every time he's working on something. I can't wait to see the next thing he does. So, we do we're constantly sending them resources to work from. All the concept work that we've done over the past, because we're kind of starting more or less from our like Prime, like the stuff that's in War Machine Prime. That it's not exactly that, but that's kind of like the starting point for the game for War Machine.
It was neat how a lot of the stretch goals tie back to the original books, not Mark II stuff, but actually Prime stuff.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It was neat. It was cool. It was kind of an old. It was kind of a little. It was cool. That's all you can say. Any more comments? No, I got nothing on that. Enjoy your beverage there, Matt, for a second. That was really. I just think the whole thing came together really neat. Can we talk? You mentioned the journeyman warcasters or the new characters you get to play in the game and sort of I guess you follow their story throughout the game as you play them.
Yeah, the first campaign that we're doing is all about the journey of Lieutenant Allison Jakes, how she goes from being a journeyman warcaster to a full-fledged warcaster, and it's really cool. Are there
RPG elements, or have you guys worked that out? Where she's going to level up and get more powers, or
she does have a power progression through the levels. It's not a detailed RPG where you're figuring out points because she has to end up as the warcaster that you're going to be able to play in multiplayer and the other like the non-campaign stuff. So. But what I think is cool is you do get to experience that evolution of the character, and both from like her gameplay mechanics as well as like through the story and the whole narrative that we're telling through that thing. And it's a great immersion into the world. So whether you're familiar with War Machine and know the world backwards and forwards, or you've never played before, you're going to be able to jump into that campaign and get sort of a tour of the setting, right? At least it's a slice, but but you walk away with understanding the world.
And that's the approach for all the factions. So each of the factions have you'll follow this journeyman caster through their progression.
That's the plan, is to take those novice warcasters that we featured in the Kickstarter and give them each this extended campaign where you get to see them.
So you're going to see Kidoran dialect. You're going to see how that all works.
Yeah, which would be really cool. And then there's also like the single player mission packs that we're doing, like that we had as a couple of stretch goals. The first one is this one called Fire and Ice, which is not as long and extensive as the Jake's campaign, but is going to give you like the opportunity to play from the points of view of two different factions, and with the classic characters, right? Like that you know from the books, if you know them, and in those you won't have the power progression, right? Because those guys are kind of like locked in their incarnation at the time, but we get to additionally tell more story about the setting.
Is that the Denegra Haley story?
That a similar, yeah. That's another one that we unlocked along the way. The Dark Seduction. That's
the one.
Single player mission pack, and so you're gonna get to play from the point of view of both Haley as well as Denegra, and sort of like see the two sides.
All the key moments from the story will be in there. That'll be cool.
Formative experience. So,
Matt, are you planning on using these computer games as a way to develop the world, or is it more of a mirror of what's developing story-wise in the rule books and in the tabletop?
It sort of depends. Like with the Dark Seduction and the Fire and Ice campaigns, those are focused on events that have happened already, in the setting. And if you don't know War Machine, since we've been publishing it for the last 10 years, the clock on the world has moved forward about a year for every year that we've been making this stuff. Each book has sort of like moved it forward. It's not quite exact there. I think we've moved it a little slower at times, to serve the story. But the world continues to change and evolve, and the characters evolve over time, and so there is a lot of stuff that has gone into the lore and history and the stories that we've published in the game so far that we want to bring into the video game. But at the same time, the No Man's Land campaign that's just about Allison Jakes is set. It's actually set in the future. So and from it's set, I think, approximately 2 books in the future.
Wow.
Right? So we've got 2 more books that will come out before we catch up to the point in time when that storyline is taking place, and so it's like I wouldn't say that we are actively using the video game as a way to develop for the tabletop. It's a really organic kind of back and forth, and the nature of that game, like, is that we can kind of do it that way. Like, we can sort of do whatever we want with it, as long as we're sort of like guiding people through, you know, the continuity of the setting. But yeah, it's giving us like the reason that we set it in the future is partly because of the big events that are going on in the setting right now are like they're about to reach this huge climax that changes the setting a little bit, right? That really like has changed the landscape of the politics between these nations, and so we didn't have a lot of room to tell a story like in the current time period, but Jake's is a new character, and we wanted her to be in this incarnation next to the existing characters, right? And not somebody who we said, oh, she's been around for 10 years.
Right. No one ever noticed her before. Where she is?
Yeah, you know, and you know, because we're publishing her now as the streaming character. So like, well, we basically have to jump into the future a little bit and put it during that time period where we can not get trampled or step on the events that we're telling in the current story, and it gave us room to tell a story there. But then, like, it all kind of interlocks and dovetails together, and it's really awesome.
That's cool.
That's very cool, the way that all it ties together.
Yeah.
I was about to say interlocks, which is
Interlocks.
exactly what you said.
Sure.
They totally look like a...
You can say dovetail as well.
Dovetail, yes, sir. That's great. So a lot of story going on there with the video game. It sounds fantastic. What's the release time frame for it right now? What are you guys looking at?
A year. So we plan to release it in August next year. We'll be in beta. We've been saying second quarter of 2014 is when we should launch our beta, and it's, you know, I mean, we're off to the races right now. The guys, like, it was the Kickstarter finished, and it was like, all right, get to work. Right? Like, everybody was.
We're funded. You have money. Go.
we're on it, right? And they're, you know, I've been getting messages and emails from them all week and everything, and I'm holding up the show because I'm here and I'm not responsive enough on my email. But like, everybody is just, there's no break, there's no vacation happening or anything like that.
We're victory party for funding.
Every minute counts. Yeah, we had our victory party for about 2 hours after the whole thing closed. We did a live stream right at the end and counted down.
That's what was awesome.
It was fun, and you know, and then we all clinked our glasses and said, and then immediately like started talking about work. And it wasn't even like it wasn't something that was structured where we were like, okay, let's figure out how we're going to do this now. But it was more like we're sitting there trying to relax a little bit, and then somebody says something, and somebody says something, and pretty soon we're just like, okay, wouldn't this be cool? Like, and we need to do this, and then we're just in planning mode because we're so focused on it.
That's great.
Very exciting. Like, the energy must be crazy, though.
It's awesome. It's really, really cool. It's you know, we wanted to make this game for so long, or a War Machine game, and the studio, White Moon Dreams, they're a small studio, and they have just a ton of talent, right? That they've gathered over the years, and it's time for these guys to be able to do what they've been wanting to do for a long time. And so I think that it's like everybody's very excited by the fact that that we've got it, and we got it on our terms. We're not answering to a publisher or anything like that. We're doing it like it's the way, it's the relationship that I like to have, right? Which is the one between us, the company that's making this stuff, and you, the people that are going to be playing it, right? Because that's the only relationship that should matter. It shouldn't matter what some guy in a desk who doesn't play video games thinks.
So for those who don't know, what platforms is it going to be on at launch?
It'll be on PC and Mac, or Windows and Mac, right? And then we're actively talking with other potential partners about other platforms that it may come to in the future. So
that's awesome.
And White Moon Dreams has done, I think, a really smart thing in the way that they're engineering the UI for the game to be able to actually be used with just about any kind of interface. So, and that's something that is kind of almost unique to this style of game, right? Is that you could play it, with keyboard and mouse. You could also play it with a controller. You could play it with a touchpad, or like
Right.
on like on an iPad or something. So, and the game experience will be the same, and also like you'll be able to, hopefully at some point, like play on totally unrelated platforms against each other. So
Right, that'd be awesome.
because it's not, unlike like a first-person shooter, which has to be like talking to each other all the time, right? It is actually possible to, like in theory, to be able to play like somebody's on an iPad and somebody else is on a PC or an Xbox, right? Like it's like that is possible. Whether or not it'll actually happen is a different story. But we've we're forward engineering it so that
I forget. Did you guys get asynchronous play into it at launch?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. It'll have that's actually been there since the beginning. Yeah, it's always been.
That's great. So I make my move. I can go do something, go do work, and make some move, just play by mail, basically.
It's played by mail.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's super awesome.
It is awesome. That's so great. It's like War Machine when you can't get to the table.
Exactly.
It's good fun.
And then, I'm also thinking, like, you could play 5 games at once, right? Like, you could be playing, a game with somebody, and then you while they're taking their turn, you could do your play-by-mail game, and take your turn there, and then come back, like...
Be one of those Soviet chess masters that's playing at, like, 5 tables at once.
As soon as somebody dies because they forgot to eat, because they were playing War Machine, I'm going to feel really, really bad.
Right. But I made it. We're as big as StarCraft.
But otherwise, it's like awesome, like the different possibilities that you can do with this. So
that's fantastic. You guys had another. I just moved away from the video game for a little bit before we ran out of time. You guys had another kind of big. I thought was kind of a cool thing to happen this year at Privateer Press, but kind of got eclipsed by the whole video game thing, which was Skull Island Expeditions, the whole book thing. Because I think Craig's talked about before in the show where we love the stories, but it's kind of hard to get all this stuff in one place. And now you've got PDFs and novels. How's the reaction been to that?
It's been awesome. It's been great. And the books themselves, we've been releasing a new book at least every month, and I've now lost count exactly how many we have. But like there is a new novella or novel coming out every single month. We've got an anthology coming out pretty soon, and the response to them has been great. Like, the reviews, they're all 4 stars or higher on Amazon. So people are really enjoying these books, and they're giving you an avenue into the world that didn't exist. Like, we've written a lot of fiction, but only a few times in the last 10 years have we been able to tell a story of any like considerable length about one character. Usually the stories in the books are trying to give you a glimpse of what is happening with every faction around the world in these big events. And now we're able to, tell a 200-page story, 300-page story about just like, the adventures of
one group of mercs or something.
One group of mercs or something. And it's and so it's something that we wanted to do for a long time. The digital publishing medium has become sophisticated and widely enough or common enough rather that more and more I just talk to people who prefer to read on their iPad. It took me a while to get around to that, but once I did, it's like I can read in bed without a light on, which is pretty cool. Right. That's what I do. So and you can carry everything with you all the time with your when you have it on your device like that. So it's we definitely kind of like jumped into that because we saw it as the future of publishing, and then the other thing it did was it eliminated that barrier for us of needing distribution, which is really tricky and hard in the book publishing industry, right? Like
you don't need an imprint to do a digital book, right? So you just go right in and do it.
What you need is an audience, right? Yeah. And we have that, right? We've got people who have been asking us for years for the novels, and so now we're getting to do it, and we're doing all kinds of different stories about all different characters throughout the setting.
It was great how you launched it because it came out a few months before Convergence really started hitting, and you had those couple of novellas about that sort of hinted at Convergence. So it was great to get the excitement because I was excited about the faction, just jump right in there, read a little bit, get excited about the background, and then all of a sudden, boom, there they are. It was a great time.
Yeah, exactly. We won't get to probably do that as often as I'd like. It was really cool to be able to lead up to that event, and especially because the Convergence it's sort of the biggest thing to happen to War Machine ever, right? I mean, as far as not just because it was a new faction, but also because it was a faction that had its roots in the original Witchfire trilogy, in the RPG stuff that we were doing.
Started the whole thing.
Yeah,
right.
And so we got to kind of like close the loop on that, and so for that it was more significant, I think, I felt like than any other expansion that we'd done with the game. But definitely like when we everything sort of lined up for that, right? We started doing working on the Skull Island expedition stuff, and as we were trying to plan out our content release schedule, we're like, it would let's do something that leads up to this and really make it an event, and that was what was exciting about it. So hopefully we'll do more stuff like that, but it's the novels aren't we're not writing the novels to try and sell the next product release. It's not like we really are just wanting to explore the world. So when it fits, we'll do stuff like that. And
that's cool.
Gives us a lot of stuff.
Are you guys getting close to actual physical books too, or are you sticking with just digital for now?
Right now, we're gonna stick to our guns that digital publishing is the way of the future. And I'm sympathetic to folks who prefer books. I love books. I've grown up with books. I love the feel of books, but it's just not how fiction's going to be consumed in the future, right? And for us, it was like we can produce so much more and so fast, right? When we publish digitally, where if we're publishing by paper, it makes it exponentially more expensive to do, right? Because now your production costs, you have to worry about distribution. The book distribution is a horrible, scary place with returns and these bad discounts and deals, and the stores are closing all the time.
Right.
Still, I live in the Valley in LA, and I don't know where the nearest bookstore is.
Oh, wow!
I honestly don't know where I could go to buy an actual physical book.
So you're just all digital now.
It's all digital.
Oh, that's great. And I was I want to put a plug in for audio versions. I know it's really expensive, but I would love those. I commute all the time. I listen to audiobooks. That's pretty much how I read.
No, it's something that we're actively pursuing right now. We want to do it. It is expensive. But it's it's on the agenda, right?
Awesome.
We want to do that because, especially, I think it's particularly applicable to our audience as well, because you can listen to it while you're painting your figures, right?
Right, exactly.
Which is awesome, and that's what I want to be able to do, right? Is listen to those audiobooks while I'm sitting there painting my next army.
That's fantastic. So how's the reaction been to Convergence? It sounds great. I'm a total fan.
It blew up like a fireworks. I mean, it was awesome. It was really great. We've been working on it for a long time, and so it was awesome to get it out there and to actually have people respond the way they did, right? I mean, it just it's kind of gone through the roof.
Yeah, it's great.
And also it added some new mechanics to the game, right? That I think also, in addition to this cool robot army, it also gives you some new ways to think about stuff. So it keeps the game fresh.
Great. I guess the last big thing we should talk about a little bit is High Command, right? I mean, you guys have been dabbling in obviously non-miniature games now for a while. But the last time you really tried something was Grind, I guess, in the War Machine universe now. And now you've come back with High Command. What got you in the direction of card games?
We want to keep creating different expressions of War Machine and Hordes and the Iron Kingdom setting. And one of the barriers, right, to experiencing War Machine has always been you have to be a hobbyist, right? If you're not willing to get paint all over yourself and glue your fingers together, then you can't really play War Machine. And but we've got a lot of development in this world, right? That we want to be able to share.
Tons of awesome art,
and we've got a gigantic library of artwork. So so we had been, and we'd wanted to do a card game for a long time, and had even started developing in a couple different directions, and nothing ever stuck. And then the game development team at Privateer last year pitched High Command to me on one of my trips up to Seattle, and I was instantly in love. Like I don't think I've ever had that reaction to anything that we've talked about. Usually the stuff happens, like it starts up a little slow. We have an idea, we start working on it. Great. These guys, they had a prototype ready to go. We sat down, I played it, and it has changed very little in its final form from where they actually pitched it at the time, because it was so polished already. I was like, we have to make this game, right? Like, and all I could do is just ask questions about like how much more we can do with this thing, like how far can we go with it, and so yeah, we've been like super excited to release it. It's here. Everybody that I've talked to who's played it has thought it was great, and it's if you're playing it and it feels like War Machine or it feels like Hordes, but it's a completely different kind of experience, and yet you're still getting to you still feel like you're engaging in this, these big battles in the universe in the Iron Kingdom setting. So, and we've got a lot of plans like ahead for how we're going to expand it and support it and organize play and all kinds of stuff.
The two games interlock together, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And can you play actually 8 players if you have both games set up? How does that kind of work? It gets kind of crazy.
It might be a slow game with 8 players, but I think in theory you can, right?
Try that out.
But it's pretty neat. I mean, it's a deck building game, right? But the innovation in it is that you're not using a shared market. You have your own market, and because you have your own market, you can customize it. And so it has a metagame experience like a collectible card game, without being a collectible card game, right? You can spend an evening. We'll need to get a couple of the expansions out before you can really do that, right? But at a certain point, you'll be able to like construct your own market and kind of tailor it, and that gives opportunities for like organized play, so that we can have leagues and tournaments and things like that on a competitive level, as well as a more casual recreational play.
It's a nice fit for a miniature gamer, because you still have that element of army building, but it's deck building, and then of course you have the fighting over the territories, which is very similar to capturing objectives and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. So
sounds great.
So we're super excited about it.
Awesome. Well, man, I know you got to get back to the booth. Thank you so much for taking some time with us today and time in a busy GenCon schedule.
Good luck on crossing the street on the way back.
You're not going to come with me?
We'll watch from afar. Make sure you don't get hit.
All right.
Thanks again, Matt.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The D6 Generation Podcast. All of the mysteries of gamer culture revealed. The D6 Generation. Born to game.
And of course, with the end of summer and the end of everybody's vacation time, a young gamer's thoughts turn to vacation.
Hey,
where would you rather want to go on vacation than with Geek Nation Tours?
Let's be honest, it's always a good time to think of travel. Whenever you're thinking of travel, and if you're a geek and you're thinking of traveling, the very first place you should go is geeknationtours.com, and just click on the upcoming tours tab, and what you will see there is a host of geeky traveling goodness.
Yep. It's group travel, and group travel, for those of you who haven't done it before, means you worry about nothing.
Right.
Not only is it group travel, so you're not worried about anything, and everything that you are going to do has been planned out by professionals and touring aficionados ahead of you, so you're not going to miss a trick.
Right.
But actually traveling in a group of other gamers, so you are not going to be that weird guy in the corner. Well, you might be. I mean, there's still technically going to be a weird guy in the corner, but it's probably not going to be you this time.
Let's say you're thinking, I'd love to go to Scotland. So you scroll down on Geek Nation Tours, and you see that lovely September to October tour in 2014, Geeking Out with Miniatures in the UK, featuring Scotland. Well, what you want to do is check that out, and you're thinking, there's going to be time on the bus, when you're going from point A to point B, but how cool would it be if the bus is loaded with gamers? How awesome is that? You're playing card games, you're kicking back, you're relaxing, having fun. You get to some cool cast, like, I don't want to get off in the middle of my game. It's great. It's just part of the fun. The whole adventure is it's a con that's seeing things. It's like a moving convention. How awesome is that?
It's unbelievable. It is like a moving convention.
It's fantastic. So what you want to do, and by the way, if you happen to be in New York, let's say you're going to be hanging out in New York this October 8th through 14th, let's say, the weekend of Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, and you're like, great, Russ, but I don't have tickets. But no problem, because Geek Nation Tours is giving away tickets right now. Go to our website, click on the contest tab. You will see how to register to win. We're giving away three different people.
Yes.
New York Comic-Con passes to get in the show and enjoy.
So you're registering to win one of them.
Yes, one of three. Yes, indeed. So head on over to geeknationtours.com and check it out.
Check it out today. This edition of Jever Notice is brought to you by Mungie Studios and Game Salute. Cast spells, summon familiars, and just cause general mayhem. You can do all this and more in Alchemist Academy, a new card game for 2 to 6 players on Kickstarter until September 20th, brought to you by Mungie Studios and supported by Game Salute. Did you ever notice how many gamer t-shirts are black? I mean, seriously. Now, over 5 years ago, I did a Did You Ever Notice segment on black t-shirts and gamers and why I think gamers might wear black t-shirts. And ultimately, I think I still believe the same things I believed back then. Some people think they're slimming. Other people like to label themselves within a group. Ultimately, all the reasons really don't matter because what does matter is that it's undeniable that most gamer t-shirts are black. And so 5 years ago, I did that segment. And believe it or not, before this summer, in that time, I bought exactly one t-shirt that was black. And I had to. Long-time listeners will remember it because I was so excited about it when I bought it that I talked about it. It was in, I think I was in Mykonos in Greece, and it was Mykonos or Patmos. It was actually Patmos. Not that any of you care, unless you're from Greece, in which case you're recognizing these names. But anyway, so I was in Patmos, and a very small village with a whole lot of t-shirt shops. And I found this black t-shirt that had yellow caution stick figures on it, one of them kicking another one into a pit. And the t-shirt said in yellow caution font, "Caution, this is Sparta." How could I not get that shirt? It was a genius shirt. I loved it. I still love it. Unfortunately, it wasn't a silkscreened shirt, a print. It was actually an iron-on, and I was so excited I didn't even notice. And so, yeah, so now it's pretty much gone. It's peeled off. It's flaked off. It's very, very unfortunate. And that was the one black shirt. Now I have some dark blue shirts, but none of them are gamer shirts. They're all various and sundry alcohol-oriented shirts that have been given to me by. I have a couple different cousins in the entertainment industry and beverage services, let's say. But yeah, no black. So every year I go to GenCon. And every year I'm like, oh, I want a new shirt. Now, of course, now we've got Ripped and a whole bunch of others, but I'll get to that in a second. So every year I go to GenCon, and every year I'm looking for that great shirt. And every year I find it, and every year it's in black. I mean, seriously. This year I'm in particular desperate need because my Blue Sun shirt that I love, that I got before Serenity even came out, has a giant hole in it somewhere that, it's just not appropriate for you to wear anymore. You know how sometimes you can have holes in your shirt and it's okay? Well, this one's really not okay. And I love it. It was exactly the right shade of green. And it had a hole in it. And I was like, oh, it's not going to make not going to make a difference because this is the year I'm going to Gen Con and I'm going to get a shirt and it's not going to be black because I know it's not black. And I know they've got Firefly shirts coming up the wazoo at GenCon. So I go to GenCon, and guess what? They don't actually use the right color green anymore. They use a much darker green or a tan. You can get it in either of those two, but you can't get it in the washed out, faded green that Jane's shirt actually is. So I was bent and I stumbled around, and I'm still stumbling around actually, but went from booth to booth to booth, and of course now they're all licensed, so they're all the exact same shirts in the exact same two colors with the exact same design on them with Firefly at the bottom, which I don't want. That's the whole point of the Blue Sun shirt, was that it was the Blue Sun shirt, which did not actually say Firefly on it, because that wouldn't make any sense. So I was flying, and I was bent out of shape, and I was annoyed, and it just didn't matter. So I didn't get the shirt, and I came home, and I was like, and guess what? Waiting for me when I got home was a shirt that I had ordered from Ripped, because I had forgotten about it, and I looked at it, and my head sunk in shame, because it's a black t-shirt. Now, I had to get it when I saw it, because I loved Pacific Rim when it came out, and this was, for those of you who follow the Ripped website, which is every day they have a sort of mashup t-shirt, and it's only available for 24 hours, and then it's gone forever, unless you want to pay 3 times the $10 on eBay. So they cost $10, and they're only available for 24 hours, and then they're gone at that price forever, and then secondhand people sell them for, $35, $40 on eBay. And this was a mashup of the Jägermeister logo, but instead it was the Jaeger head with the sunburst behind it from the Jägermeister label, and it was Jägermaster in the same font, and I loved it, and I got it, and so now I have a black t-shirt, but that's okay, right? I mean, I don't know. And then I got home from GenCon, and I was annoyed, and I just got another black t-shirt. And I had to. Everybody says I look like Gru, okay? Everybody says I look like Gru from Despicable Me, except that I'm not nearly as tall as he is, and I won't wear skinny jeans. Other than that, everybody says I look just like the guy. And so Ripped had this shirt, which was a Firefly shirt with the Minions on it, but the Minions are Mal and Wash and Jane. And it says, "We aim to misbehave" in the papyrus font that they used in the movie, and I couldn't say no. And it would be awesome if it was brown, but it's not. It's black. And I literally, honest to God, agonized over it for the day, and I got it when there were like 3 hours left before the time was up, and I almost didn't, and now I don't know if I should have not. I mean, am I weak? Have I lost the courage of my convictions? That's what I had a wardrobe that was blessedly without black t-shirts, and now I have 3. Well, 2, because that one I can't really wear anymore. So, 2. That's not that bad, is it? And if you hear my plea. If you're creating t-shirts, offer them in another color so some of us don't have to look like everybody else. That's all I've got to say about it for tonight. Thanks for listening, and good night.
Achievement unlocked! You've made it to the end of another D6 Generation episode, the podcast whose humor has universally been acclaimed as not too horrible. Please let us know what you thought of the show by either emailing us at info@the d6generation.com or by posting in our official D6G episode thread at the top of the DACA discussions forum on DACA.com. If for some inexplicable reason you actually enjoyed this show, you can help others find out about it by leaving positive reviews on iTunes. See you in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening, and happy gaming.
The theme from Total Fangirl comes from the soundtrack of The Last Night on Earth, the zombie game, courtesy of Flying Frog Productions, and is a composition of Mary Beth Magalanes.
questions?
Yeah, let's go do some. We'll do questions in the beginning. Where's the theme music?
That is added post.
Yes, post production. Good question.
So what's it like when you meet some of your fans and whatnot, and they know a whole heck of a lot more about you than you do about them?
Are we recording?
Totally muted.
Oh, cool.
Thank you, John,
See,
for
good sound
passing
check.
that
Good sound
magic
check.
wand around.
John, are we rolling, by the way? We are. Excellent, thank you.
Okay, so go ahead.
To meet your fans that obviously know a lot more about you guys because you share a lot on the podcast than you do about them, where they'll spout something off about you or a mannerism or thing like that.
It's interesting and exciting, but at the same time, it is very odd. And I think it's always a good thing for maybe you guys to remember that we don't know you as well as you know us. So if you come at us with, "Hey, how's Reese? How you doing? Wrong!" and I'm like, I don't know you. Okay, so like ease in a little bit, but it's very exciting. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. The fame is hard to bear. The jealousy of your friends can be scathing at times.
It's very flattering, though, to have.
It's very flattering.
What's really flattering about it is to think that anyone who's really interested in most of what we do every day. It's sort of.
Which is bizarre.
It is really nice. So it's kind of like Facebook when you meet someone if you have a Facebook friend you never see anymore.
I
you
wouldn't
see them for
know.
the first time in like 10 years and they know all about you and you're like, whoa, that's kind of weird. Same sort of thing as that, really. Same kind of feeling. Any other questions?
Anybody else have a question? Yes.
How many cupcakes do you think Nicole will have when she gets here?
Oh, well, we've already stopped. We've already had 3.
Oh,
There she is.
speak of the devil.
Hey! And just so my wife knows, I've already announced that it's my fault she's late. Yeah, we're at the JW, which is the other side. Yeah. So she ran back. So awesome. Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you.
Woo. Yes, thank you. There is security. We have security. We've had, how many cupcakes, Nicole, have we had so far?
I just had another one that you don't even know about.
Oh, so that's why she's late. Oh, see, now it's no longer my fault. On record.
No, it's always your fault.
It is. Married 21 years. It's always my fault. Okay, so are we ready?
We're ready.
So we're going to jump right into rapid fire then. We're definitely recording, John? Not that I'm nervous.
Anything remotely resembling mob, that's me. I'll try to keep it visual also, but there may be a moment where I call you something other than a mob, so be quick on your feet. I don't know that Swarm made the cut, but we'll see. A murder? No, I know that
Gaggle.
one wasn't. I don't think Gaggle. Why don't we just find out?
Who writes this stuff?
Why
All
don't we
right,
just find
let's go.
out? We ready?
He's on. He's recording.
Oh,
the whole
we're
thing.
just ready. The
We'll
whole
slice
thing.
up later.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to write the time.